Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed.
My
name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wisman.
Man, you were like chomping at
So
the yay.
jacked.
Could not wait to yay. That was like you almost like jumped. You should have started the show with just yay. Hello.
Listen, man.
I love it. I love it. I love the
We
enthusiasm.
got shit to do.
And we have a crazy-ass episode.
Terrific.
After a long weekend, by the way. Thank you for everyone that came out.
Unreal.
To Boston and New York this weekend. Just
Wow.
unbelievable shows. Thank you so much. Seeing the Wilbur packed to the back of the top tier of the place, that was unbelievable. Thank you so much for doing that for
And
us.
New York finding the venue in
Yeah.
the first place is a feat of its
After
own.
a
I'm
change.
so thankful for you guys sticking with it. Like, can
It
you
was
imagine
great.
getting a ticket for something 2 years ago, and a year later they're like, "We changed the venue." Well, I guess I'm not going to go.
I
to
don't
this.
even know.
I
It was
don't know.
2 years ago. It's
Hope they all have a great time.
a lot of obstacles.
But these people did it.
You did it. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you for everything. First of all, your reviews this week, they help a lot. They do help drive the show up the charts. So please, if you haven't done that, give the show 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening. Also, go to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes.
My goodness, tickets for live shows are up. And what happens is, since their shows were rescheduled multiple times because of the whole thing there, what they do is people are allowed to return them. So once in a while, tickets will pop up to sold-out shows where you'll get 4 returned or 6 returned. So keep checking. If you're looking for a sold-out show, keep checking on those. They might be there. You never know.
And unprecedented things mean unprecedented. What am I doing?
You're not
Things
speaking.
happen means things happen.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Shit
And
happens. and
Every
then this
venue had
happens.
different policies, so there was returns available for some none at all. And then Florida just went ahead and refunded everything. And they're
then
like, we'll start over.
We'll start over.
So Tampa and Orlando, get on it. We
Get
got
on those
shows.
tickets. Yeah, definitely do that. So also Patreon this week. My goodness, patreon.com/crime and sports.
Yeah.
We have good stuff this week coming up. Very good stuff. And anybody $5 or above, you get access to everything.
Right.
All the episodes, anything we put out, both shows, Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder. If you're not listening to Small Town Murder, what the hell is wrong with you, first of all? You are messing up. But this week for Crime and Sports, we have, this is a subject close to my heart because I was a big, collector of things.
Yeah.
I like to collect things.
Yeah.
And this is
boy, do ya.
counterfeit memorabilia.
Oh, great.
This is cool stuff. Fake autographs, things like
Monsters.
that. It's a huge, you have no idea. It's not just a guy putting
I
out
get
a
it,
couple of
yeah.
balls. People fill orders of thousands and
Conglomerate of assholes.
I need 5,000 Joe DiMaggio baseballs, and they'll just pop up out of nowhere.
I'll figure it
What the
out.
hell do they- yeah, so it's crazy. Gotta listen to this.
They're
It's-
not exhuming him and then putting pen to
There
ball?
you go,
No?
Joe. Here you are. Jesus Christ.
Fucking jerks.
And then for Small Town Murders, we're going to do something very fun. We're going to talk about really weird things that go on at county fairs from around the nation because we got into it on our last episode and we didn't have time to really
the county fair.
talk about it. So we're going to get into that really fun stuff. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And of course, for being a wonderful person, you're going to get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmy will mispronounce your name while trying his hardest to pronounce it properly.
With Ernest.
Oh, he will. He'll try. And if you just want to make a donation, be a wonderful, wonderful person, and of course, get a great shout out, you can do that at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com.
And thank you.
Thank you for every damn dime. It is very much appreciated. That said,
All right.
it's time to roll.
Let's do it.
Let's get into this here. Wow, we have a crazy episode. Somebody who you know.
Terrific.
Actually, you know this guy.
We're friends.
Well, I don't think you've ever met him. Maybe you have, honestly, because you've lived in the same city for so damn long.
Yeah.
Michael Carbajal.
Oh, I have been places and people have said he just left.
Really?
Like several times.
That's funny as
It's
shit.
like I follow Michael Carbajal everywhere. I didn't. Yeah, I did know. He is a dick.
He's done some things, but what got done to him, it almost makes up for it because it's an interesting story. And if you are from the Phoenix area, you've heard about Michael Carbajal forever.
Countless stories.
He's born and raised there. His family's from there. It's just, and he never left his neighborhood, which I never got.
It's a bad place.
Nowadays, it's fine.
Yeah,
where he is from now is absolutely, all brand new now. But
there's hipster comedy shows there every night.
Oh, yeah, totally. There's kids. We don't even want to get into
There's
that.
beanie caps in summertime down there.
Yeah, and people coming in there driving like Kia Souls.
Right.
It's not what it once was. Yeah. So Michael Carbajal here, born in 19. There's a discrepancy in his date of birth. He, in all of his boxing stuff, it says he's born in 1967.
Wow.
But then in his legal shit, like
74?
No, like it says he's older.
Oh.
In his actual, like, his background check things, everything says that he's born in 1966.
Is he that old?
So, yeah, I don't know if he said he was younger for some advantage early on in boxing to be a little younger and
now
made
you
him
got
look
to carry
better.
that lie forever.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it was or if the background check sites are wrong. I have no idea. Right. You never know here. So either way, he is born and raised in Phoenix. Yeah. He is a Phoenix guy through and through.
Sure is.
And everything that he does is very Phoenix. That's the other thing.
What the fuck does that mean?
He is Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like he should just have 602 tattooed across his forehead.
He might.
And he might at this point, but
with that goddamn bird as the O.
It really should be, because I'm telling you, everything you hear about, you're like, yep, where'd that happen? Phoenix?
Yeah.
You're like, you'd pick it out of a hat. It's crazy. Some things are just quintessentially Florida.
Yeah.
This is all quintessential Arizona shit here.
Okay.
So his mother is named Mary, and his father's name is Manuel, goes by Manny.
Yeah.
And his father was a Golden Gloves champion.
Yeah.
His father's a boxer. Michael has a shitload of siblings too.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a lot. We'll talk. He's the second youngest of 9.
Oh, Jesus.
So 9 kids growing up in a small house on
second to last of all of it.
Yeah, on like 9th Street in Fillmore in Phoenix, if you know where that is. Like I said, nowadays, very renovated, all that stuff. Back then, the second you went east of 7th Street, it was just...
It's trash.
It was, it was literally just... ladies walking the street and gangbangers.
And wild dogs.
Was there. And literally
wild dogs, you guys.
Literally scary wild dogs. It was, I don't know what the fuck was scarier. There was the people or the animals that were wandering there.
And those houses, none of them are big enough for 11 people.
No,
That's
they're
crazy.
all tiny. They all also didn't look like they were structurally sound at all. Like they looked like they were dilapidated because all of them were built in like 1910 and they were all built for low income people like back in the day, so they weren't built
farm workers and such.
They weren't built sturdy. So they I like this is from the LA Times in 1990 talking about Carbajal. I like how reporters put his whole
upbringing.
I like how they try to put it in flowery terms and shit. Here's this quote. It's Earl Gustke from the LA Times. Carbajal's neighborhood, 10 minutes from the gleaming office towers of downtown Phoenix, is in an area of boarded up homes, broken bottles and beer cans in the streets, and wrecked cars parked on weed-filled front yards.
That's right.
Yes, and wild dogs.
Yeah.
And prostitutes.
And worse.
And gangbangers. That's what's happening there. That was a bad time.
It's a tough area. And it's only maybe, 3 or 4 square miles north of the 10 that are like, it's weird that all that shit's inhabited. And you'll have like six lots that are empty and then a house. And somebody lives there.
It was like, we're talking like 600 yards from the baseball stadium.
Right.
This was happening.
Right there.
It was still really shitty even when the stadium was built.
Right.
So it's like right there. It's so close to there. You go to the stadium, you could hear gunshots coming from 2 blocks away.
Through there.
Yeah, from right there. Not a great place. Michael was interested in boxing right away. His brothers are boxers. His father was a boxer.
And he's mad.
Yeah, he's actually not.
Really?
No, because the family's intact, and it's one of those things like being poor sucks, but if you grow up poor but with a strong family structure,
you just think everybody's like this.
It's much different. Like this sounds, his upbringing sounds much like I always hear. Like, stories of like Italian immigrants in the in the 30s and 40s and 20s. It's the same type of thing. Like, well, there was 12 of us and we had one bedroom, but we all stayed together and mom made a great dinner, and
and the people next door to us in the walk-up kitchen had the same situation.
That's what I mean. So nobody thought anything of it. That's kind of the way Michael describes it. Whether he really felt that way or not, I don't know. But the way he describes it was pretty happy growing up with his brothers, and he loved his dad and his mom, and
And as a kid, for wandering around, there's plenty to do over there. There's canals and shit.
There's shit to do.
There's stuff.
As long as you don't get shot, it's not bad.
If you got an imagination and you're a kid, this place is not that bad.
Sucks to be poor, but they're not like, they have food. They're not like dirt poor. Nobody's a crackhead. Mom or dad isn't out carousing and smoking crack or any shit like that. Like it's a family. It's a good family. So he said that when he was 5 years old, he said, "Dad, I'm going to be a world champion."
Okay.
And his dad said to him, "Amigo, if you become a world champion, always be the same. Don't ever change. Stay down to earth."
That's cute. He calls him Amigo.
Amigo, yeah.
That's so sweet.
That's nice.
Instead of Mijo.
Yeah. He said that he sees a bunch of athletes. They get all big-headed. They think they're better than everyone else. And Michael said later on, I'm just like everyone else, which is why he never moves out of this terrible neighborhood with this awful house.
Right.
His house where he lived, he was a millionaire, and he lived at 910 East Fillmore.
Wow.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I get, I'm going to stay real and stay in the neighborhood, but are you fucking nuts, dude?
There's nowhere in that neighborhood that a millionaire should live.
No. And the problem is, if you live in a neighborhood like that and you are a millionaire, even you're a millionaire, that doesn't mean your house is full of shit, but people don't think that. They think he has $1 million in cash in there and I'm going to go get it.
It's somewhere in here.
Yeah. That's why you hear athletes get robbed all the time, because they think they must have all that on them.
Right.
It's
on his person.
Yeah. They must keep it in their pocket, their net worth. So he said that his dad would show him the basics on the front porch. And he said that one day his dad told him, "You know what? There's one thing you're going to be a champion." He said, when he heard that, I said, "I will, and I'm going to retire a champion." Okay. Said he told his dad. He said, quote, "I wanted to box since I was 6. I didn't understand why I couldn't, but my father told me to watch and learn from my experiences in the gyms and at tournaments. I waited till I was 14.
Till he got into a tournament?
His dad wouldn't let him fight an amateur fight till he was 14.
I guess that's good.
That's great. Yeah. He said, working out in my backyard as my father taught me the basics. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, those kids that are fighting early have a big advantage, but they're also getting punched in the fucking head when they're 7.
Taking damage.
Yeah, he didn't take a shot till he was 14.
Do you think that's partly Dad's, ability and knowledge to know that you're going to get hurt for this?
I think that, and Dad fought, so he knows how a fighter works, and all of his brothers fought. So he's seen, I think, the arc of, and his one brother's like 16 years older than him. So he's seen the arc of how this works. Right. And I think his father has worked it to where he says, train when you're young. Yeah. Get all your cardio, get your hands, work on the bags, do everything when you're young, but you're not fighting until
we'll put a person that hits back.
Yeah, exactly. People do that with kids with football too. If you have giant kids who are, going to be an offensive lineman or something, they'll keep them out of football until 12, 13, just to keep the contact away from getting hit in the knees and all that shit. It's even if you're not getting hit in the head
until the fruit's ripe.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that sounds gross when you're talking about teenagers.
It's about kids.
You just talked about a 12-year-old boy, and you're like, the fruit's ripe. Fruit's ripe, my friend. Look at that. Yeah. Get him out on the field. Now put tight pants on him.
I was seeing it as cultivating a crop in my whole head. I'm just like,
Jimmy wants to help you adjust your cup.
Yuck.
Not cool, Jimmy.
Come here, Mikey.
No. So, yeah, he worked it out in his backyard. His brother Danny had built kind of a makeshift gym in the backyard. Right. And, 120 degrees in the summer, and they're out there. Oh, it's dusty down there.
Boy, oh, boy.
There's not a
blade of grass to be found.
No, I was going to say, there's nobody's laying sod in this area. This is, when you fly over it, it's just brown grass. It's brown dirt, dust with weeds in it. That's all it is. It's
dotted with houses.
Dotted with houses and fences that are collapsing. It's not wonderful. So, but he loved it, though. He loved boxing the whole time. And his father was a former Arizona Golden Gloves champion. Okay. So he knew what to do. Lives, like I said, 9th Street in Fillmore. And he said, this is Carbajal, it was terrible here when I was 11 or so. Not just then.
No, it was terrible all the way till you were 11.
And then
you just realized it when you were 11.
When your kids were 11 and when your dad was 11. It's not great. He said, I still live here. This is in the 90s, he said this, but it's not as bad now. We had shootings and gangs across 3 or 4 blocks that separated us. I never left. I have so many friends from back then who were involved in drugs and shootings. I ignored everything because I was determined and desired to be world champion. So that's all he did was box. He didn't have time to run the streets or do anything because he'd get home from school and go right in the backyard and start boxing. So good for him. Sure. I mean, that's one thing that's nice to when kids have shit to do. It does keep them out of trouble a lot of times. So that's great. His brother Danny is the oldest child.
Okay.
Danny is going to play a major, major, major part in both his life and this story. Okay. So we've got to talk a lot about him. He's the first child to come along. And he's like I said, he built a makeshift gym in the backyard and everything like that. He, I guess Danny at one point was like kind of doing a barber shop in the front yard.
Oh.
He had like not shop. He had a chair in the front yard where he was charging people a couple bucks for haircuts.
Right.
So,
took a kitchen chair outside.
Yeah. Very, very opening of Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke. Very opening of Up in Smoke. He comes out and dude's got like a front yard.
Yeah.
I've had front yard haircuts.
I've seen
plenty.
them. I've been around.
Them.
Yeah.
My grandmother would do it to us.
Well, I would get them from friends where they would just shave the sides and back and be like, "You're good." That's it.
Yeah. We'd shave in a garage. We'd do that shit. Yeah, it happens anywhere. Easy sweep up.
Boys can do that. Girls are not front yard haircut people.
You don't see that often. No. Two girls just
like with the tinfoil and the brush,
the whole deal, and hi, waving at people as they go by.
Just giving her some highlights, getting rid of these roots.
With boys, it's just your cousin and a shaver. There you go.
Extension cord.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, an extension cord and beer.
Yeah, it's always alcohol.
Oh man. So everybody, his story is very much one of these desired stories that the media loves to tell because it's a good story that people want to hear.
It's rags to riches.
That's the thing.
Back to rags.
Back to that is it though, because people, they want to hear a story of somebody who came from shit and worked hard and made themselves something. That's the dream.
None of us have anything either, and we want to hope one day that maybe we can. And when we hear this story, oh my God, it's possible.
When you watch the Olympics, the story that and they have the horn music before over the story of this person and the sunset behind them as they stand on a podium and shit, and then they talk about them. It's always about either their mother died when they were 2, or they overcame polio somehow, even though they had a
war-torn ass region.
War-torn.
3 days ago got citizenship here, and now they're a champion.
But all of their brothers had their legs blown off by landmines, and he's the one who got squeaked it through and made it. Yeah, that or they came from nothing and worked hard and fought in the backyard while his brother cut hair in the front yard, and they like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So they talking about Danny. Michael says, quote, Danny, he's the one that built the gym. Okay. He brought me up, showed me everything I know. He trained me. He's been behind me. He's done everything for me.
Yeah.
So this is when he gets into his career. His brother is always his trainer, his corner man, that is always right next to him in all of his fights. So he said Danny would fight a lot with the father.
Yeah.
Oldest kid. He's the oldest boy. So they butted heads a lot. And Michael says, I know they didn't really get along all the time. And so that kind of, It was tough on Michael because those were his two biggest heroes.
And when one's your influence, and then the other one's like the patriarch of the household, and that influence is trying to teach you, and the patriarch's telling you no.
Yeah,
who do you go with? And then you look like an asshole when you side with one.
That's exactly what it is. You don't want to be. You don't want to be in the middle. That you don't want either of them to be wrong. Right. Is the other thing. Right. You want them both to be right.
Both to be right and both to be happy with whatever the fuck choice you make.
Absolutely. Danny tried boxing, but he wasn't as fast or good as some of the brothers were, but he had not had the knowledge of it. Alex and Angel said were good boxers, but they didn't have the discipline.
Okay.
They were, here's what he says, quote, "Believe me, they could fight their asses off, but they like to party."
Okay.
That was their problem. Yeah. And Michael, though, no weed, no booze, nothing. He says that he didn't even try alcohol till his wedding when he was 27.
Is that right?
That's when he tried out. He wouldn't drink. That's the first time he got drunk, was 27.
Good for you, bud.
Because he was so worried about it would fuck his body up, he wouldn't be a world champion.
I can attest, you were right.
Yeah. You know what? If he would have kept with that, he'd probably still be world champion. He'd be, 53 years old, and he'd be fucking world champion. So he said that when at his first match, he said his father said something to him. It's what he thought about when he was 6 years old. He said he thought about telling his father he was going to be a champion and all that kind of shit. So from what I gather here, he ends up having about 103 amateur fights, 94 and 9.
Good Lord.
So that's a lot. That's his reported amateur record, but who the fuck knows?
Could be so many more.
Could be so many more. I found some of the fights here that kind of, mattered for something, like tournaments or that sort of shit here. He went to... I think he went to Yugoslavia in 1985.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, to fight some guy from, it's in Sarajevo. And he went to fight, is that in Yugoslavia now? No, I don't remember where the
Russia?
fuck that is. No, it's not Russia.
Where's Sarajevo?
That's what I was just trying to figure out. It's one of the Slavic.
Okay. Yeah, it's in that area.
Yeah, so Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore. So that's why I'm trying to think of where the hell Sarajevo is now.
I've never heard anything positive about the place.
I mean, no one says they're going there for vacation usually.
I swear there was a war fought there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Absolutely. There's definitely something that
we've had
there.
Troops sent there.
So he fights a guy named Dragan, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Dragan Ziva. Oh, my God. Zivadilovich. Oh my God, what the fuck? Wow, Zivadinovich. Wow, that's a name right there. Anyway, beats him in a unanimous decision. He loses a couple. He got disqualified in the United States Amateur Championship semifinals in Tulsa.
Oh,
he got to go home early from Tulsa. That's a win in my book.
Good for you, sir.
In my book, good job. I'd get disqualified on purpose. I'm taking someone's ear off.
Feels like you took a dive.
I will bite your ear off to get out of Tulsa.
How is this more dusty than Phoenix?
What the fuck? Where's that wind coming from? So, he has a bunch of different, matches like this. By the way, he's fighting at 106 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, he's one thing I can't overemphasize is his undersizedness in terms of over in terms of just average size.
But he's also not tall. He's a small man.
No. He's
5'6"?
He says he's 5'5" and a half.
He's 5'3".
I would, I'm going to go, that's like saying Sylvester Stallone says he's 5'10". You're like, come on, Chief. Maybe 5'4"? 4 is what you're looking for.
It's funny when guys get big, like muscular and such, when they're little, because they somehow look shorter.
Yeah, because they look wider now. They don't look like...
It's so much more obvious.
Yeah, thin, you look taller.
Don't do that, man.
Snoop Dogg looks like he's 6'11". Right. So that's how it works. He's a tiny little fucker, and he's 106 pounds. I mean, he's the size of like your little sister when she's 10. This is my little sister, and she's
tussle her hair, push her over.
She's 105 pounds and little, and it just. he's just a tiny little guy, and but a badass.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
an amazing fighter. Not taking a thing away from him, but when you see him next to other people, like later on when you see him next to his wife.
Oh, his
wife's like a head taller than him. Oh, so he's like a whole head.
Good for you, Mike.
And just bigger, like as a human. Like all the other humans look like they're bigger, and it looks like you took a guy that was like 5'10", 165 pounds, and in great shape, and you just took him on your computer and just did like minus fucking 20%.
Yeah, it's 4/5 the person.
Not even minus 20, like minus 9%. And he went, and he just shrunk like that much to where he just looked a little weird and off. And then you photoshopped him back into the same picture.
Put him
with
into
other
people.
Yeah, it's so strange. It's a weird thing. So one of the fights I have to talk about this, is in Cedar Rapids. It's in the U.S. National Golden Gloves light flyweight quarterfinal.
Wow.
He fights a guy named Jose Ugly Areola. I'm not shitting you. His name is Jose Ugly. Middle name.
It's his middle name?
Ugly.
That's ugly.
That's ugly. And his last name is Arreola. Jose Ugly Areola. Joey Ugly Nips. How you doing?
Show him. Let's see him.
What the fuck?
I want to see those. He's gonna take his shirt off.
He won. Yeah. Michael won, but I don't know who the hell that guy is. A guy named Linton. Linton Nichols he beat in the semifinals for the U.S. National Gold Glove. This is the next one there. And then he beats a guy named Gary Harvey in the lightweight final to become the U.S. National Golden Gloves light flyweight champion. So not too shabby, doing well here. He's fighting all over the place in all these amateur tournaments. He fights at the Pan Am Games, wins silver medals there.
He did tell his dad he was going to be a champion. He didn't say of what. He's already made good.
That's true. He could be a champion of skee ball at Chuck E. Cheese, and honestly, he would have fulfilled his destiny. Yeah. So he said that he always wanted to fight the best, is what he said, always. He was always looking to fight the best fighters. He said, quote, "My most memorable fight was at the 1986 National Golden Gloves Championship. I remember my opponent, Gary Harvey. I'll remember that fight for the rest of my life. I won every national tournament after that until 1988. Oh. But he didn't because he was a silver in the Pan Am Games.
Yeah, we don't count that one.
I guess not. Besides the Pan Am Games, if you don't count them. Who else did he fight? Brian Lonin, Colin Moore. Wow, no more ugly nipples, though.
No,
nobody like that here. He says, Danny, this is an article from like 1988. Okay. Danny is talking, his brother. He says, if I tell you have you have to promise not to put it in the paper. This is after the match where he lost in the Pan American Games won the silver medal, lost in the final. And he says, he asked the paper, you have to tell, can't put this in the paper. It doesn't come out till later. And they said, okay, why is that? And he said, Michael had a temperature of 101 degrees during that fight. He had the sweats all night. He has a very sore throat. And they said, well, why don't you want that in the paper? And his brother said, because Roland is a very nice kid and he just won a gold medal. His family is really excited about it. We don't want to say anything that would take anything away from that.
Okay.
So they asked him not to print it. Okay. His nickname is Little Hands of Stone.
That's right.
Which is after Roberto Duran, who was Hands of Stone, and, weighs a couple pounds more than him.
Maybe has a few inches on him.
He kind of is like a miniature little version. Yeah. Like I said, if you took Roberto Duran, shrunk him 7%, you'd have Michael Carbajal.
Little hands.
I want somebody to do that. I want somebody to take a picture of Roberto Duran, shrink him 7%, then put him back in the picture, and then put a picture of Michael Carbajal in that picture as well, and see if they look identical
see who's
now.
Bigger.
Yeah, see if their size all matches up. He said, this is so weird that this is maybe the strangest quote we've ever had in Crime and Sports, and that's saying something. Yeah. He said, quote, "My mom would tease me saying, I'm going to go live with Roberto Duran. If I ever see the guy, I'm going to go with him. I used to get real mad and jealous about it. So it was a beat him or join him thing. So I called myself Little Hands of Stone."
His mom's going to go live with him?
Yeah, apparently his mom's going to go fuck Roberto Duran.
What is that?
So he would get jealous for some reason, or so I don't know why. What mom tell? I'm going to go fuck that boxer you like.
You know
the
guy you want to be? I'm going to go bang him. I'm going to stay with him.
And that made you want to be him. Well, if that's what Mom wants to fuck, I guess.
Yes, I have to be that.
So I'll be that now.
Is there a slight death in the family? What kind of weird shit is that to say?
That is right. Other than the aggressively nasty anal warts and the slight death in the family,
and the time machine on a plane.
That might be one of the. It's a top 10
really
quote of what the fuck is he talking about?
It's confusing.
It's very confusing. He goes to the Olympics. Also, he wins all his Olympic trial fights. Goes to the Olympics. In the Olympics, he fights, oh my God, Kwang Soo-oh in the first round. He fights Dang Ne Hu. He fights Scotty Olsen.
Okay.
And he's like, ooh, finally I have an opponent whose name I can pronounce. That's good. At least there's that. Robert Isagagi, or Isasagi, that's his name, Isasagi, fights him, beats him. And then in the final against Avalio Marinov, he fights that and loses this fight by decision.
Oh, no.
Now, he wins the silver medal, but there's a whole big thing about, and they call it the 1988 Olympic boxing scandal.
Oh, boy.
And they said that a lot of people, this is when Roy Jones Jr. got robbed that year.
Okay.
He clearly beat the guy, and they gave the decision to the other guy.
Well,
and
what the fuck?
He won the silver medal, and it was pretty fucking obvious. And then in a report by Sports Illustrated, these three judges were found to have taken bribes from the South Korean government.
That's why he says he never lost.
Yes,
because of that shit.
Yeah, he didn't. They found that those judges literally were bribed to cheat him. So he was 100% right. Roy Jones. These are the same judges who ruled on the Carbajal bout.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Carbajal said he never lost before because this is all rigged.
It's pretty ridiculous. So the judges for all bouts were supposed to be at a random drawing, and amateur bouts are ranked on strikes landed, not damage inflicted. So professional, they're looking for did you hurt him?
Yeah.
Here it's did you land a punch?
Points, right.
So they said the CompuBox in the second round showed that Carbajal landed 25 punches while his opponent only landed 11.
Wow.
And he should have scored 2 points across the board for that round, and one judge gave the round to the other guy. While the other 4 gave it to Carbajal, but only by 1 point rather than 2. So he got pretty fucked there.
Sure.
It kind of sucks, man. They said the Ring magazine named their USA Dream Team representing 10 weight classes, and Carbajal was selected to represent the light flyweight division. That's in 2010.
Wow.
This is like Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Floyd Mayweather.
And Carbajal.
Yeah, he was a bad motherfucker, man. Carbajal's a great fighter.
He really is.
You can't take that away from him. He's amazing. Even in a Circle K parking lot, that dude can throw down. We'll talk about that, but do you remember that footage being on the news?
I do.
That was outstanding.
He blends as a body. He doesn't look like, and he wasn't even in Phoenix. His
He's
face
a 5'4"
wasn't
Mexican guy. Everybody looks like him on a Friday night getting out of their truck with boots on.
Yeah.
Every Mexican dude gets out of their giant, large Chevy pickup truck with cowboy boots on and tight jeans on a Friday night and goes to Circle K.
Yeah.
You don't expect one of them to be able to fucking throw down like that.
A world class boxer.
Or anybody you run into, just a normal looking dude, unless he's like got some, I don't know what you'd expect.
He's wearing his fucking belt.
That's what I mean. Otherwise, he just looks like a tiny little guy. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, he throws like 47 punches in 3 seconds. And you're like, whoa.
But
holy shit.
Even if you had an expectation of what Mike Tyson's body looked like, I mean, granted, he has a face tattoo that shows exactly even without the face tattoo,
he still looks tough.
You see that man and you go, oh my God, that's Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And you know exactly what he does.
Yeah.
Michael Carbajal's face was not emblazoned into your memory.
No.
I mean, if I saw a picture of him, I'd be like, that's that fighter from Phoenix. I wouldn't, in my head, I wouldn't even be able to pull his fucking name.
Tyson, though, even if you saw him and didn't know who he was, you'd go, that guy looks tough.
His looks like he hurt somebody.
His neck's bigger than his head. He's jacked as fuck. He looks probably pretty tough. Whereas Michael Carbajal, you go, look at this little guy. He weigh 105 pounds. That's hilarious. And then he could just beat the shit out of
you.
The
only thing you could tell just by looking at him is that he'll never be bald because he had about an eighth of an inch between his eyebrows and his fucking hair. And he had unbelievable hair.
Strong hairline. Very
straight. Fucking straight.
Straight and strong, Michael Carbajal.
It's the only thing you could gather.
That's all you can gather here. That's the thing about it. We play, idiot or asshole on this game. Is he an idiot or an asshole? Carbajal's kind of neither. It's weird. He's kind of not really an idiot, not really an asshole. Does some dumb shit and does some asshole shit, but I don't think it it's weird. I just like the guy for some reason. Every once in a while, we come across some of these people, and I do so much research that I feel like I can kind of get a sense
handle on their personality,
who they are. And just some once in a while, I go, I just kind of like this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, or this lady, or whoever the fuck we're doing. So, anyway, he gets into the whole deal here. His amateur highlights: he's the 86 National Gold Gloves light flyweight champion, silver medal at the 87 Pan American Games, the United States amateur light flyweight champion in 88, and of course the Olympic silver medal. So he's as accomplished of an amateur boxer as they get. Like, he's a bad dude. So his pro debut, February 24th, 1989, and he fights at the Convention Center in Atlantic City, which is a big venue, actually. So that's because he's an Olympic champion. If you're a medalist, you don't start out at Shakey's fucking barn,
barn casino.
Yeah, Shakey's barn and
Columbus,
casino,
Ohio.
Davenport, Iowa. You don't get that. You start at somewhere decent. He fights a guy named Steel, is his nickname. Steel Will Grigsby. He's got a Steel Will.
Yeah.
Or makes me think of Steel Wool is all that does for me. So that's doesn't
He's going to
really
do math later.
Dude, he's going to steal Brillo pads to do it. It's going to be gross.
Yeah.
I had a friend not a friend really, but a guy I knew in a shitty apartment complex in North Phoenix that I lived.
Yeah.
He was like, you give me a ride to the grocery store? And I was like, yeah, all right, fine, because I was going to go there anyway. And then as we left, I noticed that he stole Brillo pads. And I'm like, oh, you're a crackhead.
Oh, that's why you needed a ride.
No, that's terrible. He didn't even buy anything. I was like, what'd you need a ride for? And in the car, he showed me stole Brillo pads. Like, you stole Brillo pads?
You made me an accessory?
Oh, you're
you son of a bitch.
You used me as like a distraction while I fucking bought Doritos? You're the worst. You're a terrible man.
And then you got in my car with your pilfered shit. Jesus. Now we did this together, you jerk.
Yeah. He got in the car like, oh, let's split up the booty. Like, you keep your Brillo pads, Chief. Yeah. I'll scrub my pants in a different way, thank you. So... Steel Will is 1-0 coming in, 4-1 in his career total. This is a 4-round fight. These early fights. Goes all 4. Unanimous decision for Carbajal. He knocked Steel Will down in the 4th round. He was definitely won the fight. 1-0 for Carbajal. And a lot of times these Olympic fighters, it takes them a little bit to figure out to not go for points, and you actually have to try to hurt people in boxing. So next fight, April 4th, 1989, Veterans Memorial Coliseum.
Really?
Madhouse on McDowell. You know it.
A hometown boy fighting his second fight right there.
Oh, yeah. He fights a lot in Phoenix. He likes the Civic Plaza, Veterans Memorial Coliseum.
Really?
Yeah, and then when it's only open a couple months, he'll do America West, even headline that joint.
Sick.
So, yeah, he's a draw in Phoenix. I mean, you can't underestimate the size and enthusiasm of the Mexican population in Phoenix. It's strong and it's there. Do you remember back in the day, because I was a bouncer in the late 90s in downtown Phoenix, and on Oscar De La Hoya fight night, if De La Hoya was fighting, the streets would be swarmed with people with shiny silver tip boots and big belt buckles and fucking just groups of, I mean, there's
flare-side Ford pickups with 16-inch wheels and tiny fucking tires.
Yeah.
What are you using that truck for?
Every ethnicity's into their fighters, and this city just has a very strong boxing. They're into it there.
And you can go out in Phoenix and it's when there's a moment of like that they can all come together with pride. The Mexican community really shows it. They really do.
They come strong. Next, so this is Veterans Memorial Coliseum. It's Silvestre Peraza, and he's in his pro debut.
All right.
His finishes his career 0-4, so that tells you. This is a homecoming sacrificial. Put this guy up to get the living shit beaten out of him by the hometown hero. So TKO in about 2 minutes. This is he just pummels this guy. This was just a party. Basically, invite everyone over. I'm going to beat a guy up. It's going to be fun. We'll barbecue.
Do it fast. I promise. I'll have plenty of time to mingle.
Start the grill like when the fight starts, and then that way it's over. I can get changed, and then you can put the meat on. It'll be good.
Yeah,
it won't be too long. I'll mingle for a bit, and then have burgers will be ready. It's going to be one.
He was hip hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
So 2-0, May 2nd, 1989 at Harrah's Casino.
Okay.
So the one in, I think this is the one in Tahoe, State Line.
I don't know.
That's up in Tahoe, I think there. So shitty, or not Vegas or anything.
Okay.
Camarino Rojas, he's fighting. 1-1 coming in, 1-3 for his career.
Okay.
He does not fight the best fighters for the first 10 fights of his career. They're all just tomato cans.
Okay.
Meant to just build up his record to get some big money fights.
Sure.
Now knockout of round 2 this is. So he's winning here, 3-0. The other thing, Carbajal is the first, and we'll talk about it when we get there, but he's the first big money guy at his weight.
Oh.
Nobody made any money at his weight before
Really?
this. No, that's why they all have 180 fights, because they didn't make shit for money.
Perhaps that's why his face was so unrecognizable at the time. Not just because it was who cares?
No,
you know what I mean, there's no money in that area.
Anything under 130 pounds traditionally, they don't make shit. That's the way it is. Once you can you get an electrifying knockout now and then. Those are the ones, but the guys that really just pound on each other for 12 rounds without any real...
It's hard to put somebody down with 130 pounds behind that punch.
Yeah, but you see it. Those guys,
happens,
you get flashed. Then when you get 147, that's when you start getting... They have the speed of the little guys, power of the bigger guys. That's when you get the real exciting fights. So May 21st, 1989, he is back at Veterans Memorial Coliseum.
Wow.
So he's fucking going there. Versus Pedro Espinoza. Okay. He's 1-2. Coming in 1-8 in his career, and I have a theory that we'll get to at the end after a few of these fights. So listen to this. So 2:29 of round 1, it's a TKO. 4-0, building up here. So Carbajal still living at this point with his brothers and sisters, still in the same place on Fillmore. And it says that his older brother lives next door, Danny, in a house built in 1910.
Yep.
So that's what all those houses were built in 1910.
Every one of them, same year.
Yeah, this is just from an article from the paper. They're talking about how he still trains in the backyard gym when it's 120 degrees. And, he's still Mr. Phoenix. June 12th, 1989, Caesars Palace in Vegas. Okay. That's a big spot.
Huge, yeah.
He fights Eduardo Nunez. 0-3 coming in. 5-1 for his career.
The name sounded so familiar. No, I've never heard of him.
Never heard of him. No.
It's not that one, at least.
He's got sisters who barely know him, I think, at this point. And he doesn't know them because he's been knocked out 5 times. This is a knockout in round 4. He's 5-0.
Okay.
And we'll keep all the names in your brain lined up here. So Danny still fighting in his corner.
Yeah.
And they're starting to do well. And Danny said, quote, "I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this because I love to be with Michael.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun."
Sure.
That's the only reason he's there. So he said early in his career, this is right around now, from an article, they said that he earned his first $50,000 purse.
Wow.
That might have been for the Caesars fight.
Yeah.
That's a decent deal there. He bought himself a 62 Chevy.
Shit, yeah, he did.
He bought himself an Impala.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cheap, though. It was only a couple grand.
Back then, Dr. Dre hadn't even put it in a song
That's
yet.
what I mean. It wasn't a popular car.
No.
It was an old, shitty car.
Like, you got that?
Oh, man. About the same time, Danny gets a 79 Jeep.
Oh,
so
Danny.
That's what they're buying. They're not extravagant spenders at all.
CJ7.
That's what he's. I think it was like an old Wagoneer, so he can put boxing equipment in it. Wood paneled Wagoneer.
Or a Willys, something with the military fucking shit out on the side of the road.
They got a lot of balls re-releasing that Wagoneer, by the way.
They really do.
We were like laughing about it and looked it up, and first of all, not even available with wood siding.
Really?
Not even available with wood siding.
Bitches.
So why bother?
Right.
Second of all, it's like $108,000.
What?
Are you fucking crazy?
They're trying to like
$108,000. You can buy a Porsche for $108,000.
They're trying to compete with the G-Wagon?
Yeah, 108 grand. You could fit 3 G-Wagons inside this fucking thing.
Wow.
It's like a bus.
Like
this
a
Wagoneer.
Suburban?
It's huge. Yeah, it's their Suburban for $108,000.
They're trying to compete with the Escalade because the Escalade's like 90 to 100 grand.
And your air conditioning will break in 30,000 miles, like Jimmy was aware from his Jeep.
Fuck Jeep. Don't buy a Jeep.
They're so great if you love to work on cars.
If
They're
you
wonderful.
love to work on cars and also love to do that in the middle of fucking nowhere, because that's where it's going to leave you.
Yeah.
Fucking what?
Jeep, go anywhere and then work on your car. That's their slogan.
Go anywhere, but bring your tool bag.
Bring your toolbox, because you're going to need to tighten some shit and replace a couple of things. Go anywhere, but bring some spare parts.
God damn it.
Oh, man. So so they said there's a family friend said, quote, around here, Danny and Michael aren't what you'd call big tippers.
Okay. Oh.
They're just not extravagant.
And also, they don't know what a big tip is.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, they're poor and they're living like, hey, let's save our money, which is fucking smart.
Sure.
And more athletes and more people in general, that would be a smart thing to do.
Absolutely.
So July 15th, 1989, Harrah's Marina Hotel Casino in Atlantic City.
Okay.
Versus Francisco Luveno. It's his pro debut for Francisco. Career mark, though, he establishes quite a career for himself at 0-7. What is it that
he hasn't fought a single person that's won a fight?
Won a fight yet? I don't think. I really don't think he has. No, the one Pedro Espinoza had one win.
One win
coming in. So
one win amongst the group.
That's it. Wow, that is fucking terrible. So yeah, he beats him TKO in round 2. Mm-hmm. He's 6-0. Next up, August 14th, 89, Lawler Events Center in Reno.
Okay.
Jesus, he fights Prudencio de Jesus.
Okay.
It's his pro debut. Career 0-3.
Jesus.
Nobody has shit for wins, and this is crazy. And they all sound like if white people were making up a name of a Mexican fighter.
Yes.
I think this is the same fighter. I think this is like in wrestling when they would have like a guy in 3 different masks come out and just be 3 different people because they didn't have that many people to fill a card. I feel like that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
He's got a cousin. And they're just like,
Why does the samurai and the warrior have the exact same tattoos? That's weird.
You just go through the phone book, put their finger until they get a Mexican name, and then they're like, okay, cool. Good. And then they go with it, I
Provencio.
think. Yeah, I think it's a manipulation by the promoters, I'm saying.
Perfect.
So, this is TKO round 2, August 4th. Oh, that's there. 0-3. KO in round 2 in that fight in Reno. 7-0. September 5th, 89, Harrah's in Vegas. He fights Jose Luis Herrera.
Another.
Again, sounds totally like white people.
I know a guy named that.
Yeah. It just makes me think of the wrestler Jose Luis Rivera back in the day, which, again, was probably a made-up name.
Probably.
So he's 8-1 coming in. Mm-hmm. That's promising. It's the first guy that's had a winning record.
Yeah.
Finishes his career 10-10 though, so this fight pretty much ruins him. It's on ESPN. This fight.
That's good.
So his first televised fight nationally for Carbajal. It goes all 8 rounds, and Carbajal wins a unanimous decision. I saw the judges too. He won like every fucking round. Okay. He just pummeled this guy for 8 rounds. So October 17th, 89. One month you're on ESPN. The next month you're at the State Fair in Phoenix.
But he's at the Coliseum again.
You're at the Coliseum, yeah, but it's just for
for the fair.
Yeah, it's for a bunch of people stabbing each other and eating churros. That's what the state fair is in Phoenix.
And whatever the entertainment is comes with the price of admission. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's
bonus.
14,500 people at this fight.
Is that right?
So this is an event that actually drew people to the fair. Yeah, they bought tickets for the fair to go here.
I've never seen that many people in that arena ever.
Yeah, it was full for this fight.
Amazing.
This was like the main event of the, I would assume, of the fair. He fights Jose Manuel Diaz. Again, sounds made up. El Conejito is his name. I don't know what that means.
His nickname?
Conejito.
I don't know.
6-24 coming into this fight. So not a great record. Finishes 10-31 in his career. Never got it together. TKO in round 3, 9-0 for Michael. So Michael's starting to. He's a silver medalist. He's 9-0. Now he's got a record to where you can start trying to put him in bigger fights.
Fairly impressive.
And he does. Bob Arum then becomes his promoter. And Bob Arum, of course, is a giant promoter, kind of the flip side of the Don King coin is what he is. Same coin, just different sides. Same accusations.
Both sides do the same things.
Yeah.
Weird.
Same accusations anyway.
Yeah,
so
double-headed coin.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So Arum says, because they're asking him, is it too soon for him to get big fights? And he says, quote, is it too soon? There's always a risk in this business, but I'm not rushing the kid. Even Danny, his brother, thinks May is enough time to get him ready. More than enough time, Danny said. There you go. Danny says, quote, I don't think it's a fair criticism to say that Michael hasn't been facing tough guys already. I think that would be fair because we just described their records.
One guy has more than 2 wins. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. Some of the guys, he fought multiple guys who never won a fight ever in their whole career. We don't know if maybe in their life, maybe they got their ass kicked in bars in 4th grade on the playground. We have no idea. As far as we know, they've never won a fight.
I've never heard of them winning.
Never. I've never heard of it. I mean,
not even a whisper.
Nothing. So, yeah, he said, people don't understand Michael hits hard enough to be a bantamweight, which is 118 pounds. Okay. Once a lot of these guys get tagged, they start backing off. So Michael says that he's ready to go 10 rounds. This will be the first 10-round fight. Okay. He says, quote, I don't know how to put it. I don't want to brag, but I think in my weight class, I'm real powerful. I feel like I'm really stronger than a lot of these guys, and I think it makes it look like it's real easy for me. But you can't say the opposition I've been facing is nothing, and I think I'm ready to start facing top 10 guys. You can say what he's been facing is nothing, because it has been fucking terrible. It really has.
But I do encourage putting anybody with that kind of confidence against people that.
Why not?
Because look, it's either going to ruin you forever or it'll show you something that you didn't know.
You never know. Michael says about his next opponent, who is Pedro Jose Feliciano.
Perfect.
He says he comes right at you, which is what I like to see. So that's what he's going to do. This fight, by the way, in Phoenix, it was only televised on Telemundo, and you could only get that in Phoenix in 1989 if you had Dimension Cable, Channel 41.
I did have it.
West Side and North Phoenix, Moon Valley, all that shit. Yeah, well, it's funny.
I had Dimension Cable with the box flipped upside down so that we could get, because we had a little thing in there.
Yeah.
And the cover didn't fit on it right anymore if you set it, so you had to have it upside down. So you had to read the numbers upside down. I got real good at reading digital numbers upside down.
You did those red numbers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. November 11th, 1989, Civic Plaza in Phoenix. Pedro Jose Feliciano, 6-6 coming in. So it's not like he won 6 fights. They're acting like he's fighting Tyson over
But he
here.
also lost 6.
He also lost just as many. Goes all 10, and it's a unanimous decision win for Michael here. Next fight, January 10th, 1990, Trump Plaza, Atlantic City versus Miguel Angel Banda. So 4-1 for him. This is his last fight. He'll be 4-2 for his career. Goes all 8 rounds, unanimous decision win, 11-0 for Michael. February 18th, back at the the Civic Plaza in Phoenix. So he's fighting every month now. This is for the NABF light flyweight title.
Okay.
This is a title fight here.
It's a big one.
He fights Tony DeLuca.
Okay.
Oh, it's for the children. Yeah. DeLuca's 17-2-3 coming in. That's a record that's way better than what he's been facing. This fight goes all 12 rounds, and it's a unanimous decision win for Michael. He's a world champion.
He is.
They gave him a belt.
The timing of his career is really unfortunate because Arizona at this point hadn't had a champion of anything in so long, and at this point in time, the Suns were building and about to be really, and that's when he crested and got
same time.
Poor fuck. The poor fuck was overshadowed by the Suns, and because Michael Jordan was the biggest thing in sports ever at that point.
Yeah, if Carbajal's 90s were the 80s, he would have been
he'd have been
the hero
destroyed.
of Phoenix.
Yes.
Yeah, he would have been the biggest thing ever in Phoenix.
Poor bastard.
He got overshadowed by Charles Barkley, which is going to happen.
Trying to take down the hero of Michael Jordan.
Yeah, and Barkley for Carbajal, you're always going to be in his shadow because he's a foot taller and 180 pounds heavier than you. So you're always going to be in his shadow.
Escaping that shadow's tough.
You can't you could run and run. It's going to follow you. It's so big. You could run for miles till you get around it. So, he's 12-0. He's a champion now.
Yep.
April 1st, 1990, Caesars Tahoe. Yeah. Versus Raul Acosta, 9-4-1 coming in, 9-10-1 for his career.
Okay.
So after he beats you, you just lose the will to win after that. You
Evidently.
just lose. He goes all 10 rounds, unanimous decision here, 13-0. June 14th, 1990, the Holiday Casino in Vegas.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Holiday Inn.
The Holiday Inn in Peoria.
Big
in
moves
Glendale.
and then there.
The Holiday Casino. I don't even know that one.
And it's in Vegas?
Vegas, 90.
It's got to be on the old strip.
I'm sure it was bought and sold and something different by now.
Fremont Street or some shit.
Yeah, one of those. Or just, one of those shit areas. Versus Fernando Martinez, 33-5-2.
Oh.
That's no joke.
Yeah.
Now, that's a real fight. And this fight goes to the 9th round where it stopped. Michael beats him with a TKO.
Awesome.
So that's a real fighter, 33-5-2. I don't think he fought much more after that. He was at the end of his career, but a guy like that knows how to not get knocked out by an inexperienced fighter. So, and he did get knocked out. So 14-0 for Michael. July 19th, 1990. This is for the IBF World Light Flyweight title as well. This is at Veterans Memorial.
Really?
So, yeah, he's there. He fought there all the time.
IBF sanctioned there, huh?
Absolutely. Versus Mung Chai Kitty Chasm.
Kitty.
Kittikasem. Kitty Kasem.
That is Kitty Kasem.
So one of those. Nickname?
Yeah.
J-O-K.
Okay. Joke.
J-O-K.
Jock. I mean.
No, not J-O-K. J-O-K-A-Y.
Oh, my God.
I'm Jay and I'm okay. Even though there is literally 0 J's in his entire name.
Not a single J.
Muang Chai Kitty Chasm has 0 Ugats for J's. He picked the one letter in the alphabet that are not in his name, and he said, I'm J-O-K. And he was J-O-K. He was 11-0 coming into this fight. Not too shabby. He'll finish 25-4 for his career, so good fighter. This is a TKO in the 7th round, though. Michael knocks him. He knocked the shit out of Kitty Cat. He knocked the Kitty Chasm out of this guy. Knocked him down 4 times over the course of the fight. So
that's a lot.
Yeah, he just pummeled him. 15-0 for Michael. August 6th, 1990, there's an article about him in Sports Illustrated.
That's a big deal.
Joe Montana's on the cover.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, Super Bowl champ at the time and everything. He said and in Danny as his manager, he can trust. This is their article. Their affection for each other is real and obvious. Danny is as garrulous as Michael is quiet, and he clucks over his protege like a mother hen. I started training Mike in that little gym I built for him in the garage, says Danny. I was with him in the Olympics, and the exposure he got there, all in prime time, was really a help. He learned to deal with the pressure and with the media. Mike and I have always gotten along just fine. If I tell him to do something, he'll do it and never complain.
Okay.
So it's the article's all about, just how he's a humble guy, and his trainer's his brother who built him his gym, and it's a very nice story. So it looks great. September 20th, 1990, Bally's in Vegas. Oscar Mudo Calzada. He's 9-1 coming into this fight. TKO in the 3rd round for Michael. So
that sounds like food.
It really does.
I will take a Mudo Calzada.
I'll take a Calzada. You want any toppings in there? You put Mudo in there. Let's throw some Mudo in there. Yeah. A little bit, though. Not too much.
That sounds delicious.
I want a Muto calzata. That sounds so good.
Spicy.
Yeah. It sounds like a calzone that you put hot sausage into. Yeah, that sounds good. I like it.
Chorizo calzone.
Yeah. I don't know if that's ever been done before, but
that sounds delicious.
I'm sure somewhere in Phoenix makes a chorizo calzone.
They've got to.
One
of those fancy pizza joints that have now opened up fucking everywhere.
You don't want that, though.
Yeah, you don't want it, but I'm sure they make it.
Yeah, they make it. Yeah, you don't want it. There's fucking goat cheese in it, too, and shit.
Fucking grapefruit in there for
whatever reason. It's a goat cheese and chorizo calzone. I will kill you with that calzone. I'm going to take it home, let it get stale on my counter for 6 weeks, come back, sharpen it against my bed like a prisoner, and then cut your throat with it.
Shot put it through your fucking window.
That's it. And then pick it back up and cut your throat with it. I'll put aside the big chunks and shards of broken glass, pick this back up and slice you. Yeah, on my bed like a prisoner. I'll just file it. Coming for you.
And daydream about what I'm going to do to you with this.
Goat cheese does not belong in a calzone as I just fucking hack away. So here he fights at the Civic Plaza. This one is October 25th, 1990. Civic Plaza versus Kid Luis Monzonte. He's 12-7 coming in, 12-10 for his career, so pretty much over at this point. KO in round 5 for Michael here.
Actual KO.
Actual knockout. Yeah, couldn't get up. December 8th, 1990. At the Rawhide Western Theme Park in Scottsdale. Right. Where the fuck would you fight at Rawhide?
Fucking Town Square, James, at high noon. That's where.
Right after one of those fake gunfights out in the street. Then you go by like a scorpion and a lollipop and you come out and you watch them fight in the dirt. And then you go play tic-tac-toe with a chicken. Is that how it works?
That's it.
That's Rawhide. Rawhide, if you had to explain it. Anyone from Phoenix is cracking up right now because Rawhide...
It's a bullshit West town that is fabricated. It's not real.
And then they just moved it.
Right.
Just moved it.
And they put it in Scottsdale and try to like get these upper crusty douches to come out there and pretend to be Old Westy for a minute.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what it was for tourists.
Right.
Whenever my mother moved there in 91, and whenever people would come there on vacation to see Phoenix, you take them to Rawhide. Right. This is what it is. But back then, it was in Scottsdale technically, but that was the middle of nowhere. Pinnacle Peak Road.
It was on the fucking reservation almost.
Almost, because I had a friend that lived on like Happy Valley Road up there, and he had a quarter mile in between houses. There was nothing between his backyard and the shopping plaza on Pinnacle Peak Road. You could just walk, and it was all desert right out of his back door.
Wild.
It was like a quarter mile down there. It was fucking nuts. So there was really nothing there. And Rawhide was this town, and you walk over the little bridge into it, and they had rolling, 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 keep them doggies rolling, 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 Rawhide. Over and over. For the whole 16 hours they were open. That's all that played. Literally all that played, and they had like an overpriced steakhouse. And they, like we just described what it was.
And I think if you order your steak well done, they bring you a boot instead. There's no like real meat.
And they laugh at you.
Then they joke.
And they give you a shitty steak.
Right. This is why you don't order. We will not do that to our beef. And then they do that to their beef.
Yeah, here you go. But
just kidding.
I think they probably did this out like in the desert where they did like wagon rides.
They had
probably set up bleachers or something because there's no room in the actual park to do this.
And there's not really like rooms and buildings.
No. And where they had those shows, there was like, would that seat 100 people?
Yeah.
It was just some bleachers set up for 100 people, and they do those gunfight shows. He fought at Rawhide.
In 90.
In 90, yeah, isn't that weird? Leon El Fierro Salazar, he fights 15-2 coming into this fight. Knockout round 4 for Michael, so he fell into the dust, and then everyone went on with their fucking business of
cue it up, rolling, rolling, rolling.
I think it played. That never shut off
during the fight.
You know it was that. They're sitting there and going, rolling, rolling, rolling. You heard that in the background, definitely, which would make me angry and make me a better fighter.
On the simulcast, the people in other states got to hear that shit.
You're hearing Rawhide like over and over. Can you hear that? Wait, shut up! Shut that fucking kid up for a second. Listen. It is. It's fucking Rawhide. Oh my God. So January 15th, 1991. He's 18-0. He's feeling great about himself. He's still living in the same place, though, at this point. And January 15th, 1991, shots fired at the Carbajal house. More accurately, shots fired into the Carbajal house from outside. Yeah. He and the police say they don't know why.
Yeah.
They go, I don't know. There's shots came in the house here. Gunfire occurred Friday and Monday.
Oh, my God.
2 different days. So that sounds on purpose. It's not random at that point. He was home both times. So people were there. No one was injured. They asked Danny about it, and he said, everyone is kind of mad. Why is this going on? Who are they? Yeah, they're shooting at us. I would be mad, too.
It's a logical question.
Why is this going on? Who are they?
Yeah.
Very fair. I don't know. Maybe move.
Yes.
So not even just, you can stay in the same neighborhood. Maybe just so everyone doesn't know which house is yours.
You fought in the neighborhood where you probably should be.
Yeah.
Up North Scottsdale, get up there. Because you can't, those people
even if you want to stay there, just not in the same house you've lived in for years where everyone knows where you live. Just in case people want to fuck with you, just because you're famous.
The gates. Don't do anything that tells people that's where Michael Carbajal lives.
I wouldn't do that in any neighborhood. No. I'd keep it to myself, Fuck. So they ended up taking a 17-year-old kid into custody after this. And he was driving a stolen car when they took him into custody. Mm-hmm. They also found a sawed-off shotgun and 2 expended shells in his car when they pulled him over. So
he's shooting shotgun blasts at the house?
Shotgun blast.
Jesus.
They said that a shot was fired through a bedroom window shortly before 4 a.m.
Wow.
On Monday.
Ike Clanton?
Yeah, what the fuck, man? Or they're trying to kill Michael Corleone, one of the two.
Wait for thunderclaps to fire your fucking shotgun?
And then a shotgun was fired into the living room shortly before midnight on Friday. Late night, too. That's fucked. So they asked them in the paper here, they said, with all you're starting to make good money, how come you haven't moved to like Scottsdale or something? Right. And he said, why? This is my neighborhood. I grew up here. I might buy a place one day for my mom and dad, but I'll still stay here. So he's talking about that.
I'm going to get them the fuck out of here, but I'll be right here.
Yeah, I'll be here with you. They said that they are currently in the process of acquiring a vacant lot across the street, which no shortage of those. Literally no shortage of vacant lots.
There's probably 2 on either side of it, too.
Yeah, it's directly across the street from his house, and they're going to build a boxing gym there for kids in the neighborhood, that sort of shit. Michael said, I grew up on these streets. I know the pressures a lot of these young kids feel. I want to give them a chance to get off the streets. That's fucking awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. But you don't have to live right across the street. Right. You can come in every morning and be like, yo, I don't know. It's just, I'm never for that shit. Like, I'm always like, we're sitting here in New York in my house, and like, I grew up in a shit area. You know what? I didn't move fucking back there. I said, wow, that's terrible. I'm moving to a nicer place because I don't want to fucking live with that shit because I know it sucked.
And Mike, it's okay to drive down to the neighborhood and tell people you can get out of here. I did.
At the same time, I guess if you bitch because neighborhoods are shitty, and then you're like, well, somebody's like sticking around trying to fix it, and we're like, what the fuck are you doing? So I guess you can't really. Whatever you want to do. But then when your house gets shot up, you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt.
And it's part of culture, too, where you know what I mean? The culture of the Mexican community in Arizona, a lot of people make decent money and still stay in those shit fucking neighborhoods. Well, 35th Avenue and Lower Buckeye.
And a lot of, too, it's a thing with immigrants, too, because I know this from my family, too, and other people like that, is that with immigrants, You try to help each other out. If you're all going somewhere, and even in that goes down generations, because they're not immigrants. They've been here for 70 years. His family, but it takes it takes 100 years to get that kind of out of the familial line of like, hey, we got to stick together because we're Bob Aram, who promoted all of the fights, he calls the Carbajals, quote, charming, decent people.
Okay.
That I make very good money off of. He said, Danny is a very soft-spoken guy, but very smart, too. He said, there's no bluster. When he sits down to negotiate with me, he talks very softly but very firmly. He's several times talked me into paying Michael more than I wanted, but he's done it without ever raising his voice. The two of them are unlike any others I've dealt with in boxing. They're not at all like the people who abuse me verbally. He gets that a lot, Bob Aram. People.
Not the person.
Not that guy. February 17th, 1991, at Caesars in Vegas here. He fights Macario Santos. So he fights Macario Santos 29-3-1. He is
That's
here. Not bad at all. 29-5-1 for his career.
Also not bad.
Not great, but this is the second to last fight of his career here. KO in round 2.
Oh.
So good showing for Carbajal. 19-0. March 17th, 91, Bally's in Vegas. Javier Vargas, nicknamed Candelita. So 27-12-1 for him. This fight goes all 12, and it's a unanimous decision win for Michael. He's 20-0.
That's incredible.
That's badass.
I don't think I knew that he was undefeated at 20 wins.
He's so fucking good, man. He's so good. May 10th, 1991, Davenport, Iowa.
All right.
He Hector Luis Petrie. What the fuck is his name? Petrie? Is that his name? Petrie? I guess it's Petrie. Anyway, he fights him, and he beats him. Who gives a shit? Unanimous decision in 12 rounds at the John O'Donnell Stadium in Davenport, Iowa. Yikes. Very fun there. Unanimous decision, 12 rounds, 21-0. October 18th, 91, Convention Center, Atlantic City. He fights Jesus Chong.
That's confusing.
Yeah, it sounds like a Tommy Chong character.
Right.
I'm Jesus Chong, man. Hey, man, I'm Jesus Chong, brother. Like El Tigre is his nickname. 15-1 coming into this fight. Unanimous decision win for Michael.
Great.
So he's killing it. Here's another Sports Illustrated piece here.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't believe there's only 2.
There's a lot.
At this
There's a lot
point?
of stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's starting to get popular. But again, nobody gives a shit about a 106-pound weight class. No one cares about
unbelievable.
that. They just don't care about it.
He is dominating it.
Oh, he's dominating it. Yeah, no one gives a shit. I mean, the one guy who was 6-6 that he fought was a top 3 ranked fighter in his weight class.
Wow.
So he's really dominating.
This feels very much like us. Like we're dominating the space. We do very, very well in terms of like numbers and
people
such.
Listening. Yeah,
nobody gives a shit.
No one cares at all. No one cares. Yeah, it's a good point. It's like crime in sports. It really
Nobody
is. Nobody
gives a
cares.
shit.
Yeah, we have like our people are like him walking around in his neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like people know him and stuff like that. But then if he goes to Scottsdale, everyone's like, "Get out of my way, tiny Mexican person." They have no idea.
We leave the venue that we just performed at, and on the streets of Boston, literally a man called me, "You dumb," as he almost ran me over in a crosswalk.
Yeah, or people will fucking give us food that we that we ordered differently and then yell at us for it, or they'll fuck us over in a hotel or something, and we're
No.
wow.
I dominate. Do you understand?
Don't you understand? People liked me an hour ago. An hour ago, there was people clapping. The whole place was full.
A homeless guy just called me dumb.
Now what? Now I got nothing. It's a good point. So this SI piece, they said, quote, "The oddest part of all of that is probably no champion has less interest in money than Carbajal.
Yeah.
So far, his most extravagant purchase has been a 1962 Chevy Impala, which he bought for $2,500.
$2,500.
Yeah, that's wild. He still lives with his parents in a Phoenix neighborhood of such dilapidation that on the street, a boulevard of empty lots mostly,
the broken dreams.
Yeah, the church is called the Church on the Street.
It's still there.
It's still there, yeah. I've seen that thing. This is a simplicity of life that Carbajal intends to enforce by remaining in the neighborhood.
Wow.
I guess, too, he's trying to keep like away from that Mike Tyson thing of like, I bought a fucking 12,000 square foot mansion and a tiger.
Yeah.
And now I'm not as hungry to fight. So I guess he's trying to keep in this. He doesn't even drink till he's 27. So he's so fucking serious about like what he's doing that I feel like he doesn't want to fuck it up.
It's fascinating.
It's like a superstition almost maybe for him.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages. On the other end of the line, thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Beautiful. It's good stuff. February 15th, 92, Civic Plaza in Phoenix. He fights Marcos Bang Bang Pacheco.
Oh.
There's a nickname for
I like
it.
that.
22-3-1 coming in. Good fighter. Unanimous decision over 12 rounds, so 23-0. For Michael. April 30th, 92, the Tingley Coliseum in Albuquerque.
Hell yeah.
Oh, no, not
My
Albuquerque.
God.
He had to be.
What a place.
He's
man.
like, this is worse than Tucson.
Yeah.
When he gets there.
I thought I was doing great.
Yeah, man, we're going
I'm
there.
23-0. I'm fighting here.
I don't think so. Jose Luis Velarde as his opponent. 19-6 for him. Unanimous decision in 10 rounds. So that is 24-0. August 13th, 92, Veterans Memorial again.
Stunning, man.
He keeps going. He fights Jorge Luis Roman.
Okay.
This is his thing where everyone's middle name must be Luis for a lot of fights. 15-5-2 for him. Unanimous decision win. 25-0 for Michael. October 14th, Rosemont Horizon, which is just outside Chicago. Suburbs out there. Jose Manuel Diaz here. 8-30 he is.
Wow.
8-30?
How do you do it?
Just no.
No, man.
No.
This isn't for you.
This fight, I believe. This is the one where this Manuel Diaz doesn't come out for the 7th round.
Okay.
He says, "I'm 8-30. What am I doing? This guy's
crazy.
He's pummeling me. I don't want to do this anymore." 26-0 for him. December 12th, 1992, America West Arena.
Amazing.
This is where the Suns still play. It's not called that anymore. I don't know what they named
What
it
year
this
was
year.
this?
92 is the opening year.
This is a big deal.
Oh, it's been open for 3 months.
Right.
Because I was at the first game there, and it was, in September or whatever, October. So, it's brand fucking new, this arena. Big deal.
The first time that anybody in any professional team in this town got a brand new arena.
Oh, yeah, it was finally. Because that Veterans Memorial where the Suns played before
It
is
is
a shithole.
Boy, oh boy.
It's a dump. Man.
I'm shocked that with the noise that people would create in there, it didn't crumble. Vibrations alone, I don't even want to slam a door in there.
That place is
it's a piece of shit.
That place is a piece of shit. Now it's still there.
Still going.
Still going.
Still using it.
I can't believe that.
It's psychotic.
He fights Robinson Cuesta that day, who's 23-0 coming in. 26-0 versus 23-0 right now. This
beautiful.
Is badass. Yeah, Michael, though, knocks him out, or a TKO in the 8th round.
Awesome.
So good for him.
At home,
the big arena, 20,000 people in the stands.
You can literally walk home. It's right there.
It's like 8 blocks from where he lives. It's really not far at all. You just follow it. 27-0, so he's killing it right now. March 13th, 93, at the Hilton in Vegas. This is for the WBC World Light Flyweight title.
Got it.
So there you go. This is an opponent that, a lot of boxers have that one opponent that they had a trilogy with, and they kind of make each other famous, and people can't think of one without the other.
That's a great teammate.
That's this guy. Humberto Chiquita Gonzalez. Chiquita is his nickname. 36-1 coming in. Okay. These two just have great 36-1. Wow. These two have great fucking chemistry in the ring. This is like Gotti and Ward, or Hagler and Hearns. There's just something about these two that they just spark, and they're just really fun to watch. Yeah. Like, watch any of their fights, YouTube them. They're all good. They're just fucking guys throwing punches like you wouldn't believe. Punches and bunches. They're very exciting fights. So this fight, Michael's knocked down twice in this fight.
Oh, Mike.
Twice here. He says that he not quote Gonzalez wouldn't fight when he knocked me down 2 times, but I had so much dedication I thought, what the hell am I doing on the ground? I came back and I got up mad and said, I'm going to knock him out.
Okay.
And that's what I did, and he knocked him out in the 7th round.
Wow.
So he got knocked down twice. I got pissed off and knocked him out after that. He's like, what am I doing on the ground?
That shouldn't be down here.
Hold on a second. It
always punches down here.
Yeah, this is not how it works. He's counting? What? Wait a second. That's maybe you got hit in the head pretty hard if you're going, what the hell am I doing on the ground? How'd I get here? Did I fall asleep here? So over this fight, Chiquita Gonzalez was a lot of movement on him. He's running all over the ring, and there he opens up a pretty good cut on him as well. Yeah. So Gonzalez is bleeding. And it's a really, really nasty fight. And they said finally here, Carbajal saved his 2 best punches of the battle for the final round, but seemed to know he had lost the war when both men threw up their arms after the final bell. And Carbajal ended up winning by a score of 115-114, and one of them 115-113, 117-113.
Wow.
So very close fight, but a unanimous decision, 28-0. He has unified all the belts at the light flyweight,
awesome,
whatever the fuck he's got there. Grace.
Wow.
That's got to be Grace.
That's as champion as it gets.
There's not a bad word that's ever been said about him. He's a humble, real guy who cares about his people, his neighborhood, poor people around him.
Not even 30.
Not even 30 years old. Doing fucking great. Grace. Grace. His brother, I think this is one of the press guys said certain guys didn't need a trainer almost. Michael didn't need a trainer. He was an instinctive fighter. Even when fighting Conchita Gonzalez, the first fight, there could have been no one there as a trainer. They said basically Danny didn't do shit because Michael's such a goddamn good fighter. He's so fucking good. Danny said, quote, this is going to sound like maybe an odd question Danny's asked. And they said, are you extra proud of your brother today? And Danny said, extra proud. God couldn't have gave us a better brother or better parent. God put this guy in a total package, he said. He's perfect. Al Bernstein talking about him. Do you know who he is, Al Bernstein?
I've heard the name.
He's the oldest fighting press guy. If you think of boxing, you think of this old guy.
Is he the white-haired guy?
They're all white-haired.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting in a smoky fucking,
But is he the one that interviewed somebody in the ring and they told him to stop writing bad shit about him?
Thought that was Larry Merchant.
That is Larry Merchant.
Yeah, I think that
You're
was
right.
Larry Merchant, man. I can't remember, though. It's possible that it was
if I saw his face, I'd probably say, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, you'd know him if you saw him. He's been around since Methuselah. He's just old as shit. So he said, to me, Michael Carbajal is a really important figure in boxing. This is Bernstein. He said, I will say he's the first, but certainly one of the first amateur fighters to create that kind of fan following at a lower weight division. Wow. He was an amazing fighter on Top Rank on ESPN and on his pay-per-views. And the irony of it was that the bond with his brother in the neighborhood he came from was a big part of his story and turned out to kind of be his mythology. Because he was on Top Rank Boxing on ESPN all the time. He said, I knew right away he was a terrific fighter. Top Rank was trying to figure out a way to make a guy just out of the amateurs a star in a division that didn't churn them out as much because there's less Americans in it, he said, basically. So it was hard to put it on TV and have people do it. He says that fight... talking about the Robinson Cuesta fight at America West. He said that fight he performed great. It was a coronation, a gigantic crowd, and then the fight against Chiquita Gonzalez, a joint promotion between the folks at Forum and Top Rank, Tom Kelly on Blow by Blow, and me, one of the most remarkable fights, one of the best I've ever announced. It was astonishing. It embodied the Michael Carbajal journey. He faced adversity. He had to come back from the brink. It was one of the most unexpected turnarounds I've ever seen.
But really, he all that's put upon himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He does that to himself facing adversity.
He does. He he also says, Michael, he meant in that fight because he got knocked down twice and came back and won. Michael, he was a gifted fighter who I think is a historical figure for popularizing the lower weight class. And he was unfailingly thoughtful and a delightful guy to deal with. And oh man, imagine putting your life on the line in one of the most amazing wars you can imagine against Chiquita Gonzalez. And then your own brother, we'll find out what he means there.
Motherfucker.
Anyway, if I had to make a list of the most pleasant boxers in all my years, Michael Carbajal would be in the top 5.
Wow.
The guy's been around for 80 years, and he's like top 5 nicest guy in the game is Carbajal. He's hard not to like.
Right.
He really is hard not to like. July 17th, 1993, Caesars Palace in Vegas. Kwang Sun Kim he's fighting.
Oh, that's not the same guy.
No, not different guy. Another Kwang.
Another Kwang.
Yeah, it was like something with a Hugh, maybe, I think was the last guy.
Is Kwang like Jeff over there?
There's a lot of Kwang. That's probably why... didn't Vince McMahon name a character Kwang?
Did he?
I think he had
just Kwang.
I think he had a Quang in WWF in the
Asshole.
90s. Yeah, I really do think there was a Quang.
Yeah.
So he's 6-1 in his career, and this is his last fight.
Hilarious.
Last dance for Quang here. TKO 7th round, 29-0 for Mr. Carbajal. Next fight is 1993 on October 10th. He fights Domingo Sosa at the America West Arena again. And Domingo's 26-1 coming in.
And this is 93. This
93.
is when it's like banging downtown.
Oh, yeah. This is after the Suns had...
Yeah.
This is the beginning of that next season.
Right.
When it was a disappointment. But it was lively down. People were excited. TKO in round 5 again.
Yeah.
Michael, that's the other thing. When he's in a big crowd at home, that's when knockouts come out. Like, I feel like he's got extra strength.
Yeah.
He's got extra strength that day. He wants to show off. I mean, who the fuck wouldn't? It's smart. So he's 30-0. Now, so he's going to relax for the holidays.
Okay.
Got to do that, right? Relax for the holidays, chill out, family, lots of stuff.
Give yourself some time to heal.
Got a lot of stuff going on here. New Year's Eve, 93, 94, that night. New Year's Eve, 93 going into 94.
December 31st, 1993.
Kind of interesting. Most people, you have a party on New Year's Eve, you hang out, things happen.
Yeah.
Somebody might get drunk.
Sure.
Somebody might throw up.
Yeah.
There might be, somebody got in an argument with somebody.
Somebody's going to cry about how bad this year was.
Yeah. What you try to avoid is someone being shot to death in your front yard.
Oh, no.
Right in your front yard. That's you don't want, like they said in Goodfellas, we knew Paulie didn't want anybody dying in the building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just bad for business to have anyone dying on the property. It's not good.
All right.
So a man named Mark Smith, who was 29, was shot to death in the course of a fight at a New Year's Day, a party at New Year's Day that night in the 900 block of Fillmore, obviously here. Michael Celaya also suffered stab wounds in the scuffle and was later arrested for the guy's murder.
Holy shit.
It was a fight. One guy stabbed him, so the other guy shot him.
Unbelievable.
Carbajal, he initially said that he was asleep at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. I was asleep at my own party in my own house. I just was passed out.
Everybody, leave when you're done.
Yeah. Then they were like, that's not true.
Yeah.
Everybody said you were out there. 12 people, including Carbajal, witnessed this in the front yard. I was sleeping. I don't know, man.
That's the Mexicans. I was in the bathroom.
Yeah. I was sleeping. That's like, I don't know. I was in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom, and I don't know what happened. So the gang squad division of the Phoenix Police say they think some of the members of Carbajal's family are gang members, and one of the Phoenix newspapers reported that Carbajal held a meeting in his home to coach some young gang members on what to tell police after the shooting death outside of his house.
Oh, God.
We don't know if that's true. That's just allegedly.
What a horrible thing to say about
It's a lot to say. Yeah, who's never had any...
Right. There's been no inkling or inclination or nothing saying this guy is a everybody says he's a great guy.
Everybody. There's without fail.
But he's in there with a gavel bringing the Central Phoenix Crips together.
That's it.
The meeting.
I'll
call order.
So he's training them up on how to do it. So they said that witnesses there said that Carbajal was flashing gang signs as he departed the scene that night. That's why. He says, quote, "I'm not a gang member. I just know everybody from the neighborhood." Yeah. If you want to call them gang members or whatever, they're all friends that I grew up with. It doesn't mean that I get into the activities that they get into or do whatever they do. It's just people I grew up with and talked to.
Right.
Yeah, that happens. He said there was like this big deal, like the gang squad saying they're on my front porch and they're talking to me. That doesn't mean I'm associated with them. They talk to me, but all we talk about is boxing or whatever. It's not like I'm involved in gang activities.
Right.
Yeah. Danny Carbajal said, there are people that live around us that are in gangs and we live in the neighborhood. That doesn't make you a gang member. Why should we have to move?
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. He said, we live here because we're comfortable here. We've lived here all our lives. My family's been there since 1930.
Yeah.
It says a lot.
It's familiar.
I mean, why not? So, it was 2 people ended up obviously being injured. And, then they had, this was at 5 a.m. Then 12 hours later, they were there that afternoon doing like the evening news.
Right.
And I don't know what station it was, but they had a television camera there and a reporter. They were confronted by 3 local youths, as they called it, who tried to wrestle the camera and videotape away before one of the kids finally just jumped up and kicked in the windshield of the news van.
Oh, my God.
So they did not want them hanging around the neighborhood there.
See, and here's the reason that you move. Because if somebody gets stabbed to death or shot to death, or not necessarily even to death, just of wounds, just gets hurt on you can be sued.
Yeah.
And when you have money, you will be sued.
Get
the fuck out of there.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. I mean, just for your own safety, too.
You can either afford a very small house in a meager area of town and pay the remainder of the money to lawsuits, or you can take that lawsuit money and that house money and put it in a nice place where that shit doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's fuck, that's a tough. It's so hard because you understand the instinct.
Yeah.
To want to stay, but then after a while you have to go, okay, this is really affecting.
Right.
Well, there's gunshots coming through my window at 4 a.m. and people are dying in my yard. This is too much for me.
You made money to have an easier life.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the easiest, whatever, but
just a better life, for your, safer for your kids to walk down the street. All that kind of shit is what you're looking for.
Go live more comfortably.
Yeah. So anyway, was this February 19th, 1994? Doesn't stop him from fighting here.
Yeah.
He fights Gonzalez again.
Yeah.
Chiquita here. This is at the Great Western Forum in Inglewood.
Oh.
This is a bit obvious. This is the old where the Lakers used to play, for Christ's sake, back then. This is for all the titles. It goes all 12 rounds.
Yeah.
It's a split decision.
Oh,
so
no.
Extra close.
Yeah.
Judges don't even agree on it. And Michael loses his first fight
God damn it.
From a split decision, 30-1.
Ouch.
There's a pattern also. Whenever there's a bunch of crazy shit going on in his life, he's unsuccessful in his next fight.
Smidge distracted?
Michael knows he needs to focus. I think that's why he didn't drink. He didn't do any of that shit. He stayed in the neighborhood, trained in the same gym.
Yeah.
I really think he he knows his brain and knows what he needs to do to prepare for fights.
And when there's extracurricular shit happening,
it's not what he's been doing since he was 6.
Right.
And
Pulls his focus.
Fucks his whole thing up. Yeah.
There's a dead body on your front lawn, Mike. That's crazy.
And you have newspaper reporters coming over going, so you're in a gang? And he's like, what are you talking about? I haven't been off of my property except to box since I was fucking 6.
Heard you're the El Jefe around here.
Yeah.
What? No.
So April 8th, 1994, he is at the Hilton Hotel in Laughlin.
Yeah.
Oh, tan,
boy.
saggy titties, baby. Yeah. Leathery fucking ankle tits.
How dare they call this a Hilton?
Oh, that is bad. He fights Abner Barajas, whose nickname is Little.
Oh, Little Abner.
Little Abner.
That's cute.
Barajas.
Like the movie.
Yeah, not exactly
the play,
toughest of things.
Well, Little Abner was tough as shit. He was huge.
Yeah, you just don't want to go by little usually in the ring, especially when you're 106 pounds.
Or if what if they've never heard of Little Abner?
Yeah, that's the other thing. If he was like 225, you can go by Little Abner and it wouldn't matter. But when you're 106 pounds and then you go by Little, it just kind of doesn't help your cause any. Yeah, you're just little. He's 6-13 here. TKO in the 3rd round. Michael gets back going again.
Okay.
Next, in July of 94, he fights Josu Camacho, who is 15-2 coming in. This is America West Arena again. So he's fighting all these big venues in Phoenix. This goes all 12 rounds, unanimous decision, win for Michael, 32-1. This year, sometime in this year, his dad dies.
Oh, no.
And that's a tough blow for Michael.
That's a distraction.
And for the whole family that the dad dies, because the dad's really beloved in this family.
Sure.
And it's very difficult, hard on everybody.
He made 9 bodies, man.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's a lot of them there and kept them all alive.
Yeah.
That's saying something. That's not easy to do.
Right.
Now, he, at this point, also signs with a new daddy, for lack of a better term.
Uh-oh.
Ditches Bob Arum and signs with Don King.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, I've been getting fucked over, but I need it done with Elan. I need it done.
Gusto.
Yeah, with just a style.
A certain
and
panache.
Panache that doesn't exist outside of Don King. So he jumped into the King camp, he said, because more money.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Arum said, quote, they snuck away and they lied about it.
Okay.
So now they're not as good as they. Remember how nice they said the Carbajals were?
Not a nice guy.
Not nice anymore. Danny said all the stuff he's throwing out, it's not true. He said, I want everyone to understand that our contract with Arum was over maybe more than 2 years ago. There's no contract. We were fight-by-fight basis.
That's nice.
We're free and clear, and now we sign with Don King. So they're just saying we sign with Don King, do whatever we want. Carbajal's management expressed unhappiness with Arum during negotiations for a fight. Miranda and Danny Carbajal were dissatisfied with the $70,000 purse. Okay. Because he should be making more than that. They also said they weren't happy with Arum's initial offers for a proposed rematch with Humberto Gonzalez. Because now it's 1-1. The rubber match is the big one.
Yeah, you get the sequel money.
Fuck yeah. Arum offered Carbajal $600,000 and Gonzalez $800,000.
Oh, what the fuck?
So they said no. King will pay each fighter $1 million.
There you go.
Carbajal, this will be the first fight of this weight class where the fighters make $1 million.
Awesome.
So he's literally brought this from guys making fucking $5,000 to $1 million.
Unbelievable.
He made it famous. So Carbajal, to any fighter of his weight class, should be a fucking hero.
Absolutely.
Because he's the reason you can make money. He said, I told Bob, this is Danny, I told Bob and I had a $1 million offer on the table, and he just looked at me and said, no way. But it was there, and we took it. So, yeah. He says, Michael says, I leave my shit up to my brother. Don't know anything about that shit. I just fight. He tells me where we're getting the most money, basically. So he said, I'm thrilled to be hooking up with Don King. He's the best in the business. So also, neither Danny, they didn't express any concern about King's. This is when King was indicted for a bunch of shit. 9-count indictment on charges of defrauding Lloyd's of London of $350,000.
What was that?
Lloyd's of London is an insurance thing. All the wrestlers used to have Lloyd's of London policies, and they fucking robbed that place blind.
Really?
What they would do is that was a policy where you'd pay in, and it was a big, you'd pay in a lot.
Right.
But then if you claimed it, you'd get like $1.5 million lump sum, and it would be tax free.
Right.
That was part of the thing so it was almost like a shelter for your money too. And the guys,
it's like a tax-free Roth IRA right now.
But it was for injury for these guys because they'd get injured and they had big money on the line, and it made sense if guys got really injured. Like Rick Rude cashed in on it because he had a really fucked up neck. Guys like that, but a lot of guys like Kurt Hennig just cashed in on it to take like a couple years off, basically.
Wow.
And then they ended up doing it again. The whole thing was you couldn't wrestle while you were for a couple of years or whatever it was. So they would be like managers or something. They found ways around it. Wow. Guys got sued by them. It got ugly. So this is the same thing. King, he was up for 5 years in prison on this.
Is that right?
And everything, yeah. Carbajal's camp said our contract is a separate financial issue.
Right.
He's giving us $1 million. I don't care what he's done.
I don't care what bullshit policy he claims to pay me. I don't care. That's on him.
That's it. Don King said, Bob Arum never gave Michael his just desserts. He said, the little guy carried top rank through the toughest times. To say that I'm elated is an understatement. I look forward to making Carbajal a super megastar in the pocketbook.
That's why you sign with Don King.
Yeah.
He says shit nobody else says.
Yeah.
His just desserts.
You crack up laughing.
It's beautiful.
When
and
the
you
day
just go,
is,
fuck me over, sir.
Fuck
just
me
say
over.
shit.
Take more than your fair share. When the day is over and they'll ring the cash register, he'll make more with me in this short span than he made with all the rest of them in his entire career. Aram is mad now, but he wasn't mad at me last week when he ripped me and called me a cancer after my indictment. The truth is, he was more concerned about my business than he was about his own. Now he's mad about me signing my true superstar. That's okay. In this business, we call him Lying Bob. He wants to spread venom and hatred. I'd rather spread unanimity, friendship, and zeal.
Lying Bob.
Lying Bob. Yeah, it's a real, very creative.
Yeah.
So August 13th, 1994, he is at Anderson's Fifth Estate.
Okay.
Which is Old Town Scottsdale.
Mm-hmm.
This is where, I don't even know how to put it. This is where like tourists meet douchebags, meet college girls sometimes.
And then in 10 years, it'll turn into a comedy club.
And then it's a comedy club, and then it's back to being, I don't even know what now.
Who even cares?
Yeah.
It's a very weird place.
It's a very weird place and very scummy inside.
And it's like, so
even when it was a comedy club, it was a fucking scum
piece
hole.
of shit.
Like you wouldn't want to use the bathrooms there. There's coke on every
Gross.
surface. It's
Absolutely
disgusting.
gross.
Yeah.
When people think of Old Town Scottsdale and they think of the nightlife there, this bar is so removed from that.
Yeah,
It's
at
so
the edge
far
of
away.
It. It's at the edge of it all.
Barely in it.
Barely in the whole deal here. So apparently on this night they were there, and Carbajal punched a bartender in the face.
The bartender?
He punched the bartender in the face.
That's a fascinating choice of person to target.
Well, apparently he punched him, and the guy didn't fall down, but he was stunned. But lucky for Carbajal, the man did fall, just not from the punch. He fell because, Jesus Christ, former Cardinal linebacker Freddie Joe Nunn rushed over and then slammed the bartender to the ground after Carbajal punched him. That is a Phoenix 1-2 right there. Carbajal punches you and then Freddie Joe Nunn tackles you? What the fuck kind of early 90s Phoenix bullshit is that?
That's the guy that that Chandler Jones just broke his sack record.
Yeah.
That guy's a bad fucking man.
Oh, yeah, he's a badass, Freddie Joe Nunn. He's a great player.
He was.
I was like, Freddie Joe Nunn? That's why I said this whole episode's the most Phoenix thing ever. It just is. Scottsdale police said Carbajal and Nunn helped turn a 1 a.m. visit to Anderson's Fifth Estate into a, quote, minor melee.
I wonder if that was on the side that had like the B room or if that was in like the showroom area where the bar was.
I don't know, yeah.
Because there was two bars in that place.
Yeah, the same way.
Yeah.
It's not like it was remodeled from a comedy club.
And that asshole bartender on the other side gave me a water once and goes, "Hey, Jim, go ahead and tip still." And I was like,
"Yeah,
I was gonna." I went out of my way and got it. Oh, all right, man, calm down.
Thank you.
Relax. I get it. Everybody else here gives all of us a bad name because everybody's a cheap fuck. I don't know.
They're all cheap. Well, yeah, he's never mind. I don't get into
that guy was an awful little man.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. He sucked.
Chubby fuck.
Yeah, little bastard. So Carbajal says he was sticking up for his fiancée when she got jumped by a half dozen women who were shouting racial slurs at her.
So I just drilled the bartender to set the tone.
I said, anybody want a piece of that? Any of you ladies want some of that fucking right hook? Huh?
Can't hit you bitches, but I can hit him.
By the way, Freddie Joe will tackle you if that's not enough. So this was about closing time, and I guess Nunn and Carbajal were accompanied by Carbajal's fiancée and her niece. They walked in here, and Mercy Martinez, that was his fiancée, and her niece got into a fucking battle with these half dozen women. Bartender Tom Larkin, 30, intervened. He said, this is the police. Michael told us he thought he was defending his fiancée. Turns out he and Nunn went after a guy who was trying to help the fiancée, too. The bartender came over to be like, hey, leave it alone.
Listen, bitches, leave her alone.
They were like, back off, motherfucker, and beat his ass. Now they're going to sue him. Now he's going to sue them because I was trying to help them, too. The police report says Larkin tried to drag Martinez from the scuffle. Larkin put his hands out in an effort to keep them separated when he felt someone punch him in the face. He said that the punch was thrown by Carbajal here. He said, first Carbajal hit me, then Nunn hit me, and then I went down. Unbelievable. That's what he said. Jesus Christ. The bar owner, Thomas Anderson, backs the bartender. He says Larkin was just trying to help Carbajal's fiance. Then Michael stepped in and punched Larkin right in the face. An employee restrained Carbajal because he's tiny. He didn't put it. I added that part. But none came and pushed poor Larkin so hard his feet flew into the air when he went down. He's like 6'5", 270.
Like a guy that plays in the NFL would do.
Oh my God! So that's the guy you want to go out with, is Freddie Joe Nunn.
It's pretty awesome.
Martinez and Carbajal tell the story differently. That's how it comes to. The trouble began. This is him and his fiance say it's different ways it started. They said they walked up to a group of young women. They said a group of them were basically like
milling about.
Came right up to the niece and the fiance, like to get right in their faces.
Start a confrontation?
And Martinez said, quote, one girl said something nasty about Mexicans to my niece, which was odd because the girls look Mexican. Which, that is odd.
But this is 1993 where that was like, that was, you know what I mean? The like long bangs and stuff. It was like, there was kind of cultural appropriation happening.
I could see that. Plus, I guess in Phoenix, too, that would be like, I could see that. So he said, these girls started punching us. Well, of course, we defended ourselves and took some punches at them, too. She said, then Carbajal stepped in. Yeah. He was pulling me away from them, and some guy grabbed him by the neck. So what's Michael supposed to do? Let the guy grab him? He just swung. He didn't know who it was until he didn't know who was after him. Carbajal said that he got involved when he saw the women jump my fiance. He said, I was worried. I can't say too much about the man who got hit, but I felt I did the right thing. So the police report says when the confusion was all cleared up, Carbajal apologized to the bartender. He's like, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
Larkin said, not good enough.
No.
I went head over heels into the goddamn ground. He said, quote, I'm getting a lawyer. That wasn't right. So, Jesus Christ. Carbajal said he'll consult with his attorney, and none who had been released that year by the Cardinals didn't have any comment, basically, here. So, that's a misunderstanding, we'll call it. But still a melee.
What
a very Scottsdale thing to happen. Mm-hmm. September 4th, 1994.
Okay.
A little bit more serious here. Michael is arrested on felony charges today. This isn't just some misdemeanor shit here. For firing a gun when he was refused entrance to a party.
What party?
It was a party in his neighborhood here. He was arrested after returning from a planned camping trip to north central Arizona. Apparently, he was going into there was a party in Tempe, and he fired 12 shots into the air when he wasn't allowed to enter the party.
12?
That's a lot of shots.
Emptying the gun.
You can't fire 12 shots into the air. I'm going to go ahead and say too many shots to fire.
That's a lot. That's reckless as fuck.
That's really reckless. Those have to come down eventually.
1 in 12. You think might hit somebody or hit something?
Wild. Apparently, not even like standing. They came as he sat in the passenger seat of a vehicle. So he bucked the gun out the window like he's fucking Tombstone driving away, or so they just went and killed the Cowboys.
Oh my God.
He said there's several witnesses involved that identified him as the shooter, and they said they recovered .380 caliber slugs from the scene.
Yeah, he emptied it.
So yes, if they recovered slugs, not shells, that means he shot at things.
They
didn't go into the air.
They got the bullets.
Yeah, they went into the house or something. So they said there's no indication he shot at anyone.
Okay.
They have that. So they're trying to do that. Now, this is he's wanted for a disorderly conduct and recklessly discharging a firearm, which is a felony punishable by 1.5 years in jail, a big giant fine and all that sort of thing. The lawyer said he's not a fugitive. He's camping. Said if you want him, wait till he comes back. He's supposed to be at Oak Creek Canyon. So somewhere there. Go find him if you want.
That's what they said about Brian Laundrie, too.
Yeah, he's camping.
He's just camping.
He's just camping. He'll talk to you. It'll happen.
Go out there and find him.
Let's not compare Carbajal to Brian Laundrie.
But it sounds similar.
It's the same story,
in the woods and when you're wanted for something.
It's the same. Yeah, his lawyer said, I will have him come back from his camping trip to answer any questions that the police department may have. So, they're going to, he ends up being booked on that shit, and he's released on bail and everything. Carbajal said, quote, everything was blown out of proportion like crazy. He said, like my father would tell me, there's always going to be people to bring you down once you get to the top. Man, now I understand what my father was telling me. Were you shooting a gun out the window of the car? That's the question.
Did you bring you down?
Yeah.
Or did they bring you down?
If you didn't do it and just people said you did it because you were the famous guy there, that would be different. Is that what happened? Say that. But I'm very confused. So at that point, there's articles that there's a Sergeant Paul Ferrero of the Phoenix Police Gang Squad says his department does not identify Michael Carbajal as a 9th Street gang member. He says, not at this time, no. We never have because he's never fit the criteria. He's not a gang member, no. So they're literally in the newspaper having to say that he's not a gang member, so which is pretty silly. They have to. He said their self-admission, these are the 5 criteria for gang identification in 1994. Okay. Self-admission, gang tattoos, written or electronic correspondence with documented gang members, witness testimony, and such gang paraphernalia such as logos. And he said, to be a documented gang member, you have to meet 2 or more of these criteria for us to put you on our list. And he meets 0 of them, so I don't know what the fuck to tell you. He lives in that neighborhood. There's also old ladies that live in that neighborhood. Should we put them on the list? Like, I don't know what you want. So there's an interview here, big interview, because Michael's kind of a man of few words. So when you get him to talk, it's interesting, about why are there so many rumors about you? He has to do an interview to say, like, I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a gang member. Me and Freddie Joe Nunn got a little carried away. But besides that, I'm okay.
I punched a bartender, not a guy with a nickname.
Yeah. He says, here's Carbajal, quote, it's because of the guys I talk with and associate with. They're supposedly all gang members. They come up to my house, or I'm talking to guys in the neighborhood. So then everybody brings up the rumor that I'm involved in the 9th Street gang. That's how it all started. It's all about where I live and how I talk to the guys in the neighborhood. But it doesn't make any sense to me. I could be from Garfield or Dupavilla, I don't know where the fuck, I don't know what that is. Nearby neighborhoods with rival gangs, according to police. Or I could be from wherever else you want to say. I talk to everybody in different neighborhoods. That makes me a gang member. Then they ask him, is there a 9th Street gang? And he says, I don't know. Well,
I know there is.
Yeah, don't say you live there. You fucking know what gangs are around. I don't know if that's what they call it, then that's what it is, I guess. That's why they have the gang squad and all. The kids around here grow up and get into some trouble. If that's what they call gang trouble, that's what it is, I guess. That's a lot of double talk. But there's another thing. I'm no perpetrator. I'm not going to tell kids to stay away from the gangs and stay away from other stuff if I was a gang member. If I was in a gang, I'd say so. Okay, that's fair. What about the allegations of a meeting at your house where you allegedly tried to influence testimony in the dismissal of a murder charge against Jose Price, charged in the murder there at the house? Yeah, he says, this was a different murder.
Oh, my God.
He says, okay, that's something that the newspaper has taken and said, because the newspaper said I've been to a lot of 9th Streeters trials. I've been to one trial, and it involved a supposed gang member, Jose Price. The only reason I was at his trial was because I was supporting him. He was a 16-year-old who got charged with a murder he did not commit. Everybody in this neighborhood knew it was not him. Everybody knew who it was. He, meaning Price, is a friend. I was supporting him as a friend.
So he was on trial for something he didn't do.
He was saying that everyone in the neighborhood knew someone else. Yeah.
We knew it wasn't him.
We knew it wasn't him.
So
we're not telling you who,
right.
but we were all supporting him.
Right.
Yeah. He was, it was like a My Cousin Vinny situation. He's the 2 Utes. So he said, do you...
The what? The Utes.
What is a Ute? Do you anticipate that you will have to deal with questions about Smith's murder for a while? He said, sure. That's why the story came out about how I was at a 9th Streeters trial and how I was here and how I was there and how I influenced whoever to say this and to say that. But that isn't the case. It's all because the guy who committed the murder is in my front yard, which is fair. It's his attorney who started all this to defend him. That's what I believe. I believe the guy. I just, he's done nothing. His whole life he's been clean as shit. I don't see why he'd be like, I'll join a gang when I'm 28. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's interesting though, because he lives. I mean, he 910. He is the second house in on the north side. It's right there.
It's exactly where it is.
And 9th Street MBP's hood, I guess, goes from the 10 to Van Buren. So he's right in the fucking middle of it.
There's no way to avoid.
No way
You're going to know these people, everybody in these gangs. Yeah. He said that they said, "Are you going to change the way you live?"
Yeah.
And he said, "I've got to, yeah. I can't just go out the way I was. After all this happened, I couldn't even go to the movies without getting into trouble. I went to the movies the other day, and I had guys already talking stuff. I got to cool out for a while. I just have to stay out of the public and out of the nightclubs. Guys just want to start something just because they've seen the paper, and they want to be in the paper. They want to start this and that. I've got to ignore stuff like that. Now I know. Things get blown out of proportion, and it's crazy." I would say so.
And it's also a weird profession with boxing and MMA, stuff like that, where you're on TV being a tough guy.
Yes.
The guy in the street is it's going to happen.
Anything
One day
like
somebody's
that.
going to challenge you.
Yep,
because people are dumb.
That's what it is. All the wrestlers always say that. They love to challenge. Oh, let's see how tough you are. Oh, it's just like, oh, Jesus. That's what you want to do with you want to fight a professional boxer?
Right.
Do you really? No.
Why do you want to do that?
I assure you don't.
No.
Kick your fucking ass.
Just buy your bananas and get the fuck out of the store.
Go home. Yeah. So they ask him, "Have you been drinking alcohol?" And he said, "Not at all." He doesn't drink still. They said, "When you were a pro and an early, or an amateur and an early in your pro career, you were always fighting. There was one bout a month, but now you're only fighting like 3 times a year." And he said, he said, "Have you gotten into trouble because you have too much free time?" And he says, "I was going to talk with Danny about that. After all this, I got to tell him that we've got to change schedules. I need a fight every other month." Wow. So he says, "I need to keep in my rhythm, or else he just has other shit to do. At least I'll stay busy that way. I'd like to go out like anybody else, and I've had lots of free time to do it." So, he's trying to answer all the questions. Next up is the big fight, $1 million fight with Chiquita Gonzalez, Humberto Chiquita Gonzalez again, 41-2. This fight, again, goes all 12 rounds, and again, a split decision.
Damn it.
This time, Humberto wins it again.
Shit.
So he's lost 2 out of 3, but they were all, toss-ups, these two. All 113, 116, 114, 114. One ref had it fucking tied. So, nobody won by a lot at all. This was the first junior flyweight match to earn $1 million purses for their people, and also the first one in their weight class to headline a pay-per-view.
Awesome.
Big shit.
Yeah.
Big shit here. He's got 2 losses here. February 1995, he pleads guilty to recklessly shooting a gun outside a party. Okay. So he does plead guilty. He is given, you, sir, may fuck off, 300 hours of community service and 2 years probation. Okay. So he admitted he did it. That's crazy.
And he can do that community service in his own gym.
Probably. Yeah, that would help. It's probably a good thing. So they said, his attorney said, undoubtedly the incidents in Phoenix have taught him. He's learned to be a little more cautious about where he goes and not to get himself in compromising positions. But other than that, he's still the same. People have asked us what's wrong with Michael, but I think only time is going to assure people that it's still the same Michael, and only time will show that he still has the same talent he had throughout his career. He's ready to go. He says that Carbajal has insisted that none of these recent events has shaken his desire to stay in the neighborhood. He's going to stay there. He says, "I'm going to stay until my whole career is over. Then I might get out of there. After my career is over, I'm pretty sure I'm going to move out. I know it's going to be hard, but that's what I'm going to do." Okay. They said, "Where will you move?" And he said, "I don't know. Nowhere too far." So moving to one of those nice condos by the stadium. That's where I'm going to move. So April 1st, 1995, Buffalo Bills Star Arena in Primm. Is that Utah?
Buffalo Bills Star?
Primm, Primm. Is that Nevada? That's Nevada.
It's got to be.
It's Nevada.
Southwest.
Yeah. Buffalo Bills Star Arena. Buffalo Bills, yeah. Versus Armando Suzuki Diaz. Mm-hmm. Okay. 7-14 he is coming in. This is a unanimous decision in 10 rounds, 33-2 for Carbajal. Next fight is in May of 95 at the Civic Auditorium in Bakersfield. Francisco Carrasco. And he knocks him out in the 4th round, Michael does. So He's building it back up again. June of 95, Andres Cazares in the Civic Auditorium in Bakersfield again. This is only the last 5 rounds. He wins this fight too. Next fight, August 12th, 95. So he is fighting more every other month now. It's exactly what he's doing. He fought May, June, skipped July, fought in August. Wow, this is at the MGM in Vegas.
Awesome.
getting back there, versus Jose Galito Quirino. Galito's his nickname. 34-17. This is a knockout in round 1.
Awesome.
See little guys knock them out in round 1. That's fucking awesome to watch. 36-2 for Michael here. September 16th, 95 at the Mirage in Vegas. He fights Gregorio Garcia, whose nickname is Goyito. Pick something that's not a G. I don't know.
This is the peak of his career, though, right? For money?
For money, yeah. He's making dough right now. 0-6 coming into this fight. 0-9 for his career. Why is he fighting at the Mirage in Vegas against a champion? This makes no sense.
Give that guy that chance.
Wow. KO in round 3 for Michael here. Next up, he is in November 95 again. Francisco Montiel. He fights at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. And this fight, 4th round knockout for Michael. He's cruising now. He's building it back up. Next up, 96. February 19th, 96. You know where he is, Jimmy?
Where's that?
Club Rio in Tempe.
Oh, no.
He's fighting at Club Rio.
He fought there?
I've done comedy there.
You're telling me he's not there to have fun?
No one's ever had fun at Club Rio.
Jake Plummer's hands out.
Yeah, none of the girls that were there with him had fun. I did comedy there once.
I believe it.
It's before
it was
the night.
Yeah.
No. This is before the night. They would do at 5 o'clock.
Well,
so it was still day out.
Yeah.
You'd go in there and there's 9 people there.
Yikes.
And the room is fucking thousands of people. It was crazy, dude. It was so weird. And they're like, here's your $20.
Enjoy.
This is a long time ago. Wow. Anyway, he fights Mauro Diaz here, knocks him out in the 7th round. So 39-2. And then I'm sure he just went and I don't know. Then they opened up the dance floor. And then 3 college girls fought each other.
Now
and
we played Darude Sandstorm for the next 4 hours.
That's going to happen. March 16th, 96 at the MGM Grand in Vegas. Yeah. A little bit better than Club Rio here. Club Rio doesn't even exist anymore.
No.
The building's gone.
There,
I thought it was gone. Didn't they
you're right.
They knocked it down, put something else up.
They have giant business complexes.
Yeah, they fucking leveled that shit.
It's completely gone.
Drove by it on the way to Tempe Improv when we were there. So, he fights here Melchor Cobb Castro. Mm-hmm. Melchor Cobb Castro, whose nickname is Baby.
May as well get something small in there.
I guess. 46-4 he is coming in. 71-12 for his career.
Great career.
It's a lot of fighting, man. Wow. This is a unanimous decision after 12 rounds. So doing great, Michael is. Next up in 96, July of 96 at the Mammoth Gardens in Denver. He fights Manuel Sarabia, who was 9-3-2 coming in, knocks him out in the 1st round. Next fight, he's going to knock the guy out in the 8th round. It's at the Knapp Center in Des Moines. Ew, Jesus, versus Julio Coronel.
That's K-N-A-P-P. Right?
Yeah,
K-N-A-P-P. Sounds like this is where we take a nap.
It's in Des Moines. It's a big nap center. People just stop by in the middle of the day and they just get a good rest in.
Lots of people on union breaks in the parking lot.
Oh, very nice. They love it. Just farmers come in, just need a break from the land, the kids.
Run on down, take my nap.
I'll be back. 42-2 here. Next up at the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, so that's the hockey arena there, he fights Tomas Rivera, who's 13-1 coming in. This goes to the 5th round, and it's a knockout for Michael. So Michael is killing it right now. Then he fights at the Thomas and Mack Center in Vegas, Mauricio Pastrana, whose nickname is El Pintoso Indio Boy.
What is that?
El Pintoso Indio Boy. I don't know. He's a Colombian guy.
Okay.
Don't know what that means, but whatever.
Perhaps he's from Indio, California.
Maybe. I think it's saying, because there's a bunch of Colombian guys go by Indio, which I think that's something to do with what their heritage is there. Right. What kind of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's kind of their self-identifying. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what Pintoso means. It sounds like an insult.
It does.
You'd be like, Pintoso! And then somebody would fire gunshots out the window at you for not letting you into a party. Or that's what you fire as you fire that's what you yell as you fire a gun out the window because they wouldn't let you into a party. Pintoso! Yeah. So you just fire up.
Too close to Pinocha.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of things it's close to. Yeah. Just none of them are good. So this fight goes the distance. Yeah. The judges, listen how close this fight is. They judge it. One judge judges it 115, 114, 116, 112, 115, 113.
Very close.
split. Too, not even all for the same person, and Michael loses.
Oh, to the Pinocha.
To Pintoso Indio Boy.
Pinocha beats him.
Yeah, Pintoso Indio Boy sounds like someone who made 90s house music back then, doesn't it? That was they make like rave music in the 90s. So, yeah, March 22nd, 97, Memorial Coliseum in Corpus Christi, Texas. Different one there. He fights Scotty the Bulldog Olson, who's just a white Canadian guy with receding hairline. Just whatever. But he's 31-2 coming in.
Not bad.
So very formidable. This is a knockout in the 10th round for Michael, or for Carbajal here. April 27th, 97. This is the TV incident here that we all saw on the news.
Yeah.
He is charged with aggravated assault after he and his cousin attack an off-duty police officer outside a gas station.
Oh, my God. He was an off-duty cop, too?
He was an off-duty cop.
No.
Well, he had some. Well, he was at fault, too, as we'll find out. This is interesting here. This actually ends up making Michael some money later on.
Really?
Yeah, this is one of the weirdest twists ever here. Him and his cousin, Carlos Valdez, who was also a boxer, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. They're in Chandler. Yeah. And the spokesman here, the police spokesman, said they had already pumped their gas and they were standing out there being loud and disturbing people because it's 3 a.m. and
it's what?
Everybody's
How do you
drinking.
Get disturbed at a gas station?
That's what I'm saying. No one's disturbed.
What are you talking about?
An off-duty police officer had been inside the gas station buying a drink when he came out and told Carbajal, his wife and cousin, Carlos Valdez, to keep the noise down.
Yeah.
Which, if you're not in uniform and you go keep the noise down, you go, fuck you. Mind your own fucking business. How's that, you twat? If one guy tells me and any of my cousins to quiet down, they're getting yelled at.
At a place where you're literally there for 7 minutes total. You know what I mean?
Maximum.
You're going to be gone in a second.
Calm the fuck down. So... Anyway, this guy came out, told him to keep the noise down. The clerk inside the station called 911 because to report that quote, they were chasing the officer around the gas pumps.
Come here.
Hey, keep the noise down. Hey, guys. What? Hey, no. Oh, shit. No, wait. Get him. Go around number 6. Yeah, that's amazing.
He's running figure eights around 2 gas pumps.
Oh my God! They said he identified himself as a police officer. Then they grabbed him and threw him to the ground and quote pummeled his face.
Yeah.
If you saw the fucking footage of this, dude, Carbajal threw 30 punches in a second and a half. Yeah. Like. When you saw that, the look of shock on the other guy's face of just like, holy shit, you don't expect like a swarm of bees to come at you in fist form.
How'd you do that?
At 3 a.m. from some random dude.
Can you stop hitting me so we can talk about what you just did?
Wow, that was awesome. Amazing. Yeah, that was incredible. Holy shit, that hurt. So they said that Valdez allegedly began the attack and then soon was joined by Carbajal. Because, if you fight my cousin, you're fighting me too. That's how it works. Sorry. So
all here.
Carbajal then runs from the scene and ends up being cornered in a nearby shed by a police dog and an officer. Yeah, that's some sad shit. He was hiding in a shed. And then he surrendered politely with no problems after that. I was trying to run, but once you're here, I'm not going to fuck with you.
I just wanted to show you guys this shed. Look at it.
Look at it. It's beautiful. This guy's lawnmower. I'm going to tell you. I've seen a mower or two, and this one's nice? A beaut. It's a beaut. It's a beaut. So I was thinking about getting one like this for my dirt, for my weed dirt. I think it's good. So they're charged with 1 count each of aggravated assault, and they're awaiting bail and all that kind of shit. The charge would have been simple assault if it wasn't a cop that they beat the shit out of, if they hadn't, quote, pummeled his face and it was a cop. It escalates it a little bit. So at this point, that doesn't look good. No. That was on the news because the surveillance video from the gas station parking lot was just on the news so much, and that made it.
Local boy, not done good.
3 a.m., all the hallmarks of athlete being an asshole in the middle of the night. And so it gave him less of, when you add this with someone got shot in his front yard, he's bucking shots out the window, it really took some of the shine off of him and made him just, not...
Shitbag.
Yeah, people thought of him differently. Right. And he's still a nice guy, but people thought of him differently. Right. And what can he do? To try to change his image, and He's like, I've tried to do the right thing my whole life. I work my ass off. He's just sitting in his fucking shitty house hoping nobody shoots it up. Sitting there, and then out of nowhere, there's a knock on the door. And he's like, who the fuck is this now? He has to check. He doesn't recognize the guys. Some guy in a nice suit.
There's another body in your yard.
Shit, is that somebody? Did someone get shot out there? No. He opens up the door, and it's Vince McMahon.
Fantastic.
CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah.
And he says... How is it you've come to arrive here? Look at you. You're a tiny little guy, but I like it. You're a strong, tiny little man. I feel like we could take you and have you beat big guys, and they wouldn't see it coming. They'd be like, look at this little guy, and they're going to push you around, and then you're going to hit him with a swarm of punches, and you're going to come all at him, and you're going to get him, and then you're going to take their woman, too. That's what I can see, yeah. And then she'll be a foot taller than you, and it'll look hilarious on TV. Hold on. Wait a second. Take those overalls. Here, I got overalls for you. Oh, there you go. But they're a large, they're a little big. You're kind of swimming in them, but that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, overalls and the Hispanic audience. Oh God, the ratings point. Oh my God, it's Jesus. I'm gonna come. Hold on. And then Vince in a explosion of sexual excitement, 1099s, and many other things. He's gone. And Michael is like, that's why I don't leave the neighborhood, because shit like that doesn't happen generally. This is the first time it's ever happened in this neighborhood.
Staying here.
I feel like if I go other places, he's going to pop up everywhere. July 18th, 97, Thomas and Mack Center. He fights Jacob Baby Jake Matlala.
Yeah.
Matlala. He's 45-11 coming in, so not too bad. This fight is stopped in the 9th round, but not because Michael can't continue, because of cuts.
Bleeding.
So that can be accidental. Headbutt, elbows. When you lose from a cut, it really sucks because you're wanting to keep fighting and you can't.
The body can't do it.
Yeah, it just can't heal up a cut, and that can happen by accident, like we said, and it's miserable. And fighters hate getting cut because you'll lose from a cut when you're winning a fight. Yeah. That's what ends up happening here. Michael loses technically by TKO, but he was just cut. So, apparently after this fight, Danny just took off from Vegas and didn't do his normal thing. It was a very weird deal. And Michael was like, what the fuck is going on here? Now at this point, this is fucking amazing. He and his cousin ended up suing the city for that fight with the police officer, saying, because the police officer turned out to be drunk.
Oh, you motherfucker.
He had been drunk and he was driving. So that ended up being that
doesn't look good.
He tested at 0.10 blood alcohol level, too drunk to drive, and the surveillance camera made it hard to tell which one of the three men threw the first punch either.
Who started it?
So it was like, well, if there's a drunk off-duty police officer starting fights in a fucking gas station parking lot
before jumping into his own vehicle and driving home,
that's not exactly a good look for the
Chandler Police.
So they sued for $2 million, contending their civil rights were violated. Yeah. And they end up settling for $35,000 each.
Well, that's kind of low.
So they got $35,000 to beat up an off-duty police officer in a gas station parking lot.
That would have started at a higher number.
Yeah, no shit. I would say so. Nichols tried to sue them at first. This cop tried to sue them, and then it didn't go because he had a broken jaw and a broken eye socket.
Well, that's what happens when you get drunk and mouthy.
And fight two boxers, you fucking idiot. Dummy. That's what I mean. So the jury dismissed his claim and sided with Carbajal. Then Carbajal sued the city and got money.
Beautiful.
So not too bad here. And Nichols ended up leaving the Chandler police force after that because he looked like an idiot.
Your all credibility is gone.
Not only did you get beat up in public, but you also were drunk while it happened. Stupid.
Fucking idiot.
So fucking moron. February 27th, 1999, India Cultural Center in, where do you think that is? The India Cultural Center.
I would say that is in California.
Tampa. Where all the culture happens. Fucking Tampa.
Yep.
He fights Jose De Jesus, who's 31-8. Jose does not come out for round 7. He decides this stool is pretty comfortable.
I will stay here.
I'm going to stay right here rather than get punched in the face more.
This was the knapsack.
May 8th, 99, Mikosuke Gaming Resort in Miami.
Yeah.
That's, again, just going to Florida now. Oscar Andrade, who's 22 and 17 coming in. This is a unanimous decision for Michael, a win. Next up at the Convention Center in Tucson.
Hell yeah.
This is 1999. He takes, after that loss, he takes almost 2 years off.
I don't blame him.
He doesn't fight all through 98 at all. He fights in 99, and then he's fighting again here. He fights, this is July 99, Convention Center, Tucson. The guy he fights, Oscar Calzada. Oh, that's Calzada again. He's 14-8-2 at this point. TKO in round 4.
The Muto?
Calzada. Wasn't that the guy with
was it Muto? Calzada?
Yeah. I need a Muto Calzone. Yeah.
Same guy?
I think it's the same guy.
I hope so.
I hope it is, unless we just same last. It's definitely the same last name.
He fought the Calzone twice.
I fought the Calzone, and I'm not afraid of him. So July 31st, 1999, he fights Jorge Arce. And Arce here is the champion, the world boxing, the WBO world light flyweight champion. He's 20 wins, 2 losses coming into this. This fight goes into the 11th round where Michael knocks him out.
Great.
And wins the title.
Terrific.
It's pretty fucking wild. Years later, Arce said, reflected how much respect he had for Carbajal and the punch that knocked him out. He said, whenever he hit me, it hurt. The jab even hurt my hands. Ouch, ouch. His hands were like steel. Carbajal's punches were like being hit by a steel bar. I remember every punch he gave me in the 11th rounds. In the 11 rounds, that's a compliment.
Those little hands of stone.
Yeah, he said he would go on because he fought for years after that. That was only his 22nd fight. And after years and years, they said, who's the strongest fighter he ever fought? And without hesitation, he said, Carbajal's the strongest. No doubt about it. It's him. So for a final record of 49-4.
That is so impressive.
Because like he promised his dad, he retires because he won the belt back. His whole 1999, he only came back to build himself back up to win a championship to retire. Yeah. That's all he wanted to do.
If you do that, do you go for your 50th win and retain your title and then quit?
Maybe. I mean,
just for that 50.
Rocky Marciano, 49-0.
Yeah.
He said, done. That's it. Champ.
What was her name?
Christy Martin.
Yeah, 49.
49. Yeah, that's a weird thing when you have that. Yeah, I don't know if I might need that extra thing.
I might need it.
He wins the Ring Magazine's Comeback Fighter of the Year for 1999, deservedly so. Retires as world champion. He said, I had a goal in my mind, and that was to retire as world champion, and I did that. There was nothing left for me to do in boxing as I had achieved all my goals. I was very proud of my career, but I had done everything there was to do in boxing. I walked away as a champion.
That's great.
Good for him. He said, if I never boxed, I think I'd be a counselor. I'm really good with kids. I went to college for 2 years, but I was too busy with fighting. I've always had unbelievable patience, unlike other trainers and managers who all want to make a quick buck. If kids stay in the gym, not even fighting, they will learn. It's all about kids staying off the streets. It's not as bad here as it was before, and it's great to be helping these kids. Some come here to box, others just to work out, and that's all good. I'm in no hurry to have a world champion, even if that's my goal, and I'm going to concentrate on giving them time to understand.
Okay.
It's to build kids up.
Yeah.
March 25th, 2000, his brother Angel, who we've talked about, his brother Angel is shot to death outside a bar.
God damn it.
Yeah, in Phoenix. 1650 Bachelors 2, 1650 East McDowell.
Oh, boy.
Yeesh, nah.
Oh, that's a strip club.
I know exactly where that is. That place, I used to drive by that all the fucking time. I used to live at 7th Street there. It's right there.
51.
Yeah, right there. So he said that Angel was not armed during the fight. Carbajal was fighting, Angel Carbajal is fighting with a man who police have identified as Joel Thomas of Phoenix. The brawl spilled out into the parking lot where another guy, Leonardo Martinez, shot Carbajal numerous times in the upper body and face.
Asshole.
Yep, apparently, this is from the police spokesman, apparently Angel was winning the fight when the suspect came from behind and started shooting. What a pussy.
Bitch move.
What a bitch move. Not only is he winning the fight against this guy, you come from behind. Right. You couldn't even have fought him from behind. You had to shoot him from behind. Wow. He was taken to Good Samaritan Regional Medical Center where he died an hour later. They said witnesses told police that the shooter was a member of the East Side Dupavia gang and continued to shoot Angel after he fell to the ground. They later tracked him around the corner at a residence at 19th and Brill, and they have not yet found the gun used to kill him, but they believe that he passed it off to another gang member. They said, we'll find whoever has it, and they will be facing charges as well. You probably won't, but maybe. So he's being held, obviously. Angel worked at a retirement home and had recently started making shelves for businesses. Yeah, that's fucking horrible.
That is shitty.
They said Michael was the closest one to Angel too. That was his favorite brother, basically. They said if you really know him, he's not that quiet. Michael said of his train, because everyone said he was quiet. He goes, he's not that quiet. He'll talk to you. So yeah, shot numerous times. This is 2 a.m. That's fucking terrible. That sucks. If you're gonna fight somebody, take your ass kicking and move on. Right. Get the fuck out of here.
And it wasn't even the guy that was
no, it was his
losing.
boy.
It was his friend. You're a bitch.
That's some bitch shit. So March 27th, 2000, Michael's talking about his brother. He's sobbing uncontrollably. He said that he would train the kids all the time. He'd help with the kids. He was real good with the kids. And he said he was just devastated by the whole thing here. Also, he and his wife are godparents to Angel's 8-year-old son as well. So they said that's horrible. That's been really hard on him. He said it hurts to see his son. Sure. And they're like kind of taking care of him here. He said that the family's offended that in the wake of the shooting, that news media reported that Angel associated with gang members and had run-ins with the law. He said, quote, Angel was not mixed up with any gang like people have been saying. He said he was a good person. Court records indicate Angel and 2 other men were indicted in January with the January 14th robbery of a guy named Damian Botello Torres. So he was indicted for robbery, which is weird. He'd been arrested for other offenses in the past as well, but police refused to release his arrest record at that moment. Angel Carbajal is dead, and we see no reason to release information that would only add to the family's grief. We also believe that the homicide was a result of a bar fight and not gang-related. That I do believe. He said, our police are not foolish and are on the alert for further trouble for this, but there is no need for further trouble. What happens next will have to do with the message sent from the Carbajal family. If they feel comfortable the justice system has done its job, we'll be all right. It'll all have a calming effect. So, Michael also said things in Angel's past had nothing to do with what happened last night. I don't really know what happened, but they probably got into an argument and it went from there. No shit. So there's, again, in the newspaper, is the family involved with gangs? He says that's ridiculous, even though the newspaper notes on several occasions bullets have been fired at both his house and his brother's house, who lives next door, Danny. In 1994, a guy was shot to death in his front yard. And they go through his shooting the pistol, all that sort of thing. He said, the things said about me, Angel, my family, about gangs are said because I'm in the public eye. That's, obviously true. So he continues working on his gym. It's the 9th Street gym. And he said, we have little kids. We have an 82-year-old man who comes in here all the time. Anybody. He said, anybody who wants to come in, for whatever reason, they're welcome to come in, even if it's just to be off the streets. He said, I remind kids of what we went through in this neighborhood and avoided. Most fighters come from neighborhoods like this. It's not about winning or losing, although we always want to win. It's about life. We train anyone who comes in the gym. They learn discipline and helps through their lives. We teach giving others respect. I'm old school. We don't have air conditioning in the gym.
Jesus, Mike, come on, man.
It gets you in great condition. Hey, I trained in a tin shed in my backyard, which was 15 degrees hotter than outside. And remember, this is Phoenix, where it gets 120. And I love it. I enjoy helping, not just to box, but to be good through their lives. The discipline they learn will help. We're building them for life. That is horrifying. Yeah. Okay. Danny, real quick here. Okay. Danny and his wife, Sally. Okay. Sally and Danny Carbajal, been together for over 30 years. But they filed for divorce in July of 2003. Okay? Divorce is finalized in December 2003, but Sally didn't know that. I guess he had filed for divorce. Somehow she didn't receive the documents pertaining to the whole thing, but a judge let it go through. She didn't know that till she filed for divorce and found out, well, you can't because you're already divorced. She was like, what was that again? So they said in August 2004, the divorce was granted. They threw out the original divorce, then we got another divorce there. And Danny, by 2005, the cops start looking at him here. They want to look at him to see about the apportioning of assets belonging to Danny and Sally, because they're saying that Danny was stealing shit from Sally through this divorce. Basically had his daughters pretend that they were her mother to like sign things and shit like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's going to be a trial for all of their assets, and there's like $500,000 in property, $400,000 in a Merrill Lynch account. There's a lot of money involved here, and so 3 days before the trial, and Sally's moved on. She's got a guy named Jerry Best who's a new boyfriend. Well, 3 days before the trial, Sally and Jerry are shot to death.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
Suicide, huh?
Clearly they couldn't take it anymore. Yeah. So it's pretty weird here. Friends of Sally's didn't care for how Danny would refer to her excessive drinking all the time, to say that she had problems, and they didn't think so. Danny, when asked about the coincidental timing, he said, "I don't know what you're talking about. I've heard that the guy she was living with was selling drugs, but you just don't know. Everybody talks." Wow, that sounds. Didn't OJ say that exact fucking thing? So there's $500,000 worth of property in Phoenix, $400,000 worth of cash in a Merrill Lynch account, which now will go right to Danny, rather than he's going to have to split it more than 50-50 with her otherwise because of what he did. It's pretty fucking interesting. Also, they assembled. They had Danny, when deposed, told everybody that the properties purchased with Michael Carbajal money were all put in his and Sally's name and not Michael's. And they said, why? And he said, to protect Michael.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, because his brother might find himself in any unspecified hot water, and this is property no one can go after now, whether somebody's suing him or, whatever the fuck. He's back taxes or some shit. Doesn't matter. So instead, Danny's arrested for defrauding his estranged dead wife of $750,000.
That's what happens.
That's what happens here. He ends up arresting. He's also arrested as Josephine Carbajal, his 35-year-old daughter, and Celia Carbajal, his 24-year-old daughter, who both helped him do this.
Wow.
They're all arrested here. They're accused of posing as their mother and forging her name on bank accounts.
That's so scummy.
Their own mother. So they're all booked on fraud, forgery, perjury, all sorts of shit. Michael comes out at this point, 2005, 2006, and says, I'm fucking broke. I have nothing. I don't have a pot to fucking piss in.
I live on Fillmore.
Still, he never bought 5 mansions. Right. He should have money to piss away still.
Plenty.
He said, they said after he retired, he was calling around for a pro bono attorney. Word was he had like $2.6 million banked after his last fight, and it was just gone. None there. No one didn't understand it. He never had Rolls Royces. He didn't go out and do crazy shit. He didn't gamble. He didn't buy houses. He didn't do anything. He just saved
$2,500 car.
Yeah, he's got a $2,500 car, and he lives in a fucking shithole. Like, he's got money. So they said, so Michael was having some problems. He's talking about a lawyer here. And so he called me in tears and angry and said, quote, I can't pay my utilities. Utilities. This is fucking crazy. He said, my dad warned me. All he said was, be careful with your money, son. He said that watch it, make sure you watch your money. So he said that, I had Danny working with my money. He said, I trusted Danny. I never ever thought he would do this. I thought me and him were close. That's fucked up. He said that he wanted to know why his brother was acting strange. So, and said that Danny and his wife took off at one point with a couple $100,000. Danny said that Sally took off with money. Okay. That's what it was. So he said that he tracked her down in Texas, and he was going to get the money back. And he said that Michael said that he thought that sounded super shady. Didn't sound right. And then Danny at one point broke down and cried and came clean to Michael. He said that, Michael said that he felt like he was being manipulated when he would do that. And then he ends up meeting a woman named Laura Hall after he and his wife get a divorce. This is the woman he's with now, who's like a foot taller than him, it looks like. Looks like he's been shrunken. And she sensed something was wrong, too. And he says, we pulled bank records out from 10 years before. And he said that, he found all sorts of shit here. Danny saying shit. And at the same time, Danny's talking a lot of shit about this Hall woman, saying that she's
no good for you.
No good. She's just stirring it up.
You stay out of that woman.
It's the worst. So Michael and Danny had a meetup, and Michael said that he pretended to know less than he did and played dumb to see if he could trap Danny in a lie. He said his brother asked him if he had bank records pulled, and Michael said he played dumb and said no. He tried to unnerve, he said, Danny, when he speculated aloud if maybe the records puller wasn't a detective. He said, maybe it's a detective or something, looking about your wife that died. Remember that?
Right.
So he said, he's, quote, he didn't know what to fucking say. Did you ever think about the detectives looking at all kinds of fucking records? You're being investigated for murder. I want to talk about that too. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen to you. I need my financial stuff. I need all my money. Right. So he told his brother. Right. You got crazy shit going on. I got to get my money.
Your wife's dead, man.
Absolutely. So they asked Michael later on in the press what he thought would happen to Sally and Jerry. And, he said he said that there's one obvious suspect. That's all he would say. They, I guess, emailed Danny to see if he wanted to have his voice in the piece. This is the Phoenix New Times, did a lot of articles on Danny. The New Times was on top of this shit. They have good investigative reporting. Back, I don't know about now. This is 20 fucking years ago, 15 years ago. He said he sent emails to his daughter Josephine and his daughter Celia to check if they wanted an opportunity. And he says that Michael did ask Danny what, if anything, he had to do with the Sally and Jerry case. And he said that Danny said that he didn't do anything and then launched into something else. He started saying how the boyfriend sold drugs and at a place where some cartel guys are. And he said, obviously that's what happened. Michael said, quote, I knew right then. I said, oh, shit. He thought his brother did it right then. So Michael then said, quote, it intimidated people, not me. He knows that, too. I already see him at fights. He won't even look at me.
Really?
I guess before Danny goes to jail here, they crossed paths at a fight night at the Celebrity Theater. Mm-hmm. And Michael says that he was so pissed and he wanted to knock Danny out. And he said, right when I passed him, he bowed his head and I said, punk ass bitch. He wanted to fight him. Danny, on the other hand, said that Michael scurried away when they got in near each other. Okay. Michael will whoop his old ass at this point. He's a champion and he's fucking 16 years younger than him.
He beats up cops in broad day.
Yeah, he will. Really 3 in the morning.
Middle of the night.
Yeah.
But he'll do it.
So Danny, his explanations for all the money shit did not quite satisfy prosecutors here, and Danny ends up pleading guilty to felonious theft in 2007, and his daughters also plead guilty for their part, and they're sentenced only to probation.
These bitches are part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, they were completely forging the wrong shit. May 25th, 2007, Phoenix police spokesman said that Carbajal was agitated, argumentative, and belligerent. This is Michael Carbajal with officers. This is so out of character for him. He is found wandering in a vacant lot with an open bottle of rum early in the morning.
Whoa.
Does that sound like Michael?
That's not Michael Carbajal.
That sounds like a fucking hobo.
That's a guy that's fucking got a lot of pressure.
Open bottle of rum wandering around a fucking vacant parking lot early in the morning?
Jesus, Mike.
That is terrible. Apparently some police officers came up and tried to talk to him, and he, quote, threatened to kill one of the officers and then was taken into custody. He's drunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can fucking kill you. Yeah.
He said something about boxing, and then the only thing that was intelligible was, I could kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, even if I'm this drunk.
Years ago, I was a fighter. I was so good at this shit. I could kill you.
It's fucking 8.
Yeah. I could kill you.
This is 7 years past when he was a champion. So, I mean,
he could have been telling him a story that somebody said that to him.
Yeah.
And they don't know.
They don't know.
Got so much fucking rum in him.
But this, I mean, Jesus Christ, his own brother stole his fucking money. His other brother got shot and killed. He's got a lot going on. Now he's broke. He didn't want to leave this neighborhood. Now he can't leave. It's like Bronx Tale. Now he just can't leave.
He's stuck.
He's stuck here. I feel fucking bad for this guy. I actually do. I mean, he's done some dumb shit, but not that dumb. I mean, I do. I feel bad for him. Not nearly as bad, obviously, as I feel for Michael Carbajal, transitioning leadership and logistics inspector with the Department of the Air Force Inspection Agency.
Shocking.
That is very official. Works for the United States Air Force. Michael Carbajal, massage therapist and personal trainer at My Mark Fitness and Massage Therapy in Montgomery Village, Maryland. Michael Carbajal, last mile in-home services professional. Last mile. Oh no, is that
is that a fucking?
You're gonna die, and they come to your house and like help
is that a
you.
Home hospice.
I don't like that at all.
Jesus.
It's in Denver. I mean, it's necessary, but it's scary. Michael Carbajal, investment specialist at TCNC Capital in United States.
Hope that's not our guy.
No, I was gonna say you definitely wouldn't. Our guy wouldn't be an investment specialist.
Don't give him any money. He may know what to do now.
Maybe. Yeah, don't give it to your brother, first of all. So you go to his office and you're like, I have this and that. And he goes, don't give any of it to your brother.
Now pay me.
All right.
The fuck out.
Thank you. Have a good one. You want to send in the next? Send the next couple in. Thank you. Be careful on the way home. Do it at a time. Not your brother.
Pay me. Get the fuck out.
Michael Carbajal, DC AFOS East Oiler. I don't know what that is. At Walt Disney Parks and Resorts.
Oh,
He's
oils it.
I guess so. Freelance artist and graphic design as well, and works for Walt Disney. And finally, these are always the people I always feel the worst for. Michael Carbajal, real estate agent in Houston, Texas. I feel he sold 3 very nice houses recently. I see. What's this one? Yeah, that one's not bad. $300,000 he sold it for. Not easy.
Making some
Give him a shot.
change in this fucking epidemic.
Yeah. 2007, Michael is inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame.
Right.
And he said he started crying. He said, I started crying right then. He says, I still don't believe what I have done. Everyone says you were a great guy and people say you have a great heart. But do you know where I got that from? My parents. Yeah. My mom and dad showed me how to respect. I'm not better than anybody else. I'm not big-headed. I hate athletes that think they're too good. I'm just like you. And he said, I've become the happiest man in the world right now because my son just became a world champion, is what his dad told him when he died. He said he always thinks of that. He made his dad proud before he died. So he likes that. February 2008, Danny Carbajal pleads guilty, like we said, to fraudulent schemes, 2 counts of theft as well, but not stealing Michael's money, not murdering his ex-wife, none of that shit. Just the shit from his wife.
Financial crimes, that's it.
From his wife, yeah.
Wow.
Pre-sentencing, Michael said that while his brother was out, he said he still lived next door, and he'd see him, and he said that he wouldn't even look over at him or any shit like that, wouldn't do anything like that. He says, quote, he don't scare me no more. He done what he done. That's what Michael said. Michael, by the way, talks like a redneck.
He does.
He's got a redneck accent. Yeah. It's really, he done what he done. Yeah. That's what's fucking funny about
Arizona,
it, too.
There's a lot of that, though.
Oh, yeah.
So much.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody in his family with a Spanish accent, with a Mexican accent, like from Mexico. So, Michael said when he gets to the sentencing, he's one of the people that talks. He asked that they please give him the maximum 10 years. Mm-hmm. Please put my brother in prison. Ruben Castillo, he said that he's told Judge Klein, quote, Michael trusted Danny more than he trusts anyone in the world. I don't know this Danny Carbajal, this malicious, devastating person he has come to be. He taught his kids how to steal. You don't teach your kids to do that.
No, you don't.
That's gross. Yeah. That's really gross. Michael
taught his kids to steal from mom.
From their own mother.
Worse.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Shit.
Yeah, fuck your mother. That's crazy. Michael says, quote, I would have given anything, he said, for Danny to do, to whatever. He said, all I said to you, Danny, was take financial care of my mother first of all, and take care of my kids first of all. And Michael said that, his father warned him in the 90s that Danny might be stealing from him, but he never wanted to believe it. His own father said that. Michael said he was real angry during this whole thing. He said, I have no assets. He left me broke with nothing, Judge, just like he left Sally. I don't got nothing. All that hard work. I want you to feel this, Danny. My kids, Danny. Oh, I wish I could look at you. You're my brother and I love you, but I don't love what you did. Judge, he deserves the max. He don't care about nobody but himself and his kids. He's vicious. To this day, I'm the same person I always was. Oh, this is what Danny says. He says, to this day, oh, no, this is Michael. To this day, I'm the same person I always was. I'm going to rise again, and I'm not going to let you destroy me, Danny. So now Danny, he says he has a groundswell of community people on his side and writing letters for him and, all this sort of thing. And they're asking for probation. One of the youngest daughters here, his younger daughter, Celia, called Michael a belligerent drunk who's incapable of caring for himself financially or otherwise.
Oh, my God.
He suggested that whatever Danny did was for the greater good.
Oh, my.
That's ballsy.
Where's all the money, Danny?
Oh, my God. That's just fucking wild. And she said, I'm not my dad. I'm not only my dad's daughter, but I'm his best friend, Josephine said. By the way, they ended up finding a loaded 22 in Josephine's backpack too, at one point. Danny speaks as well. He says, I'm here because I broke the law and I apologize for that. He says that the judge said he finds the facts of the case very disturbing, and it's a family tragedy that included greed and a pattern of wrongdoing spread out over 3 years in a sophisticated scheme. Yeah. The judge referred to Sally's homicide, saying it had inexplicably occurred 3 days before the divorce trial was set to start. He also told Danny he couldn't consider Sally's murder for this sentencing because, quote, you have not been charged with that crime. But obviously he's like, it's in my head.
I'm thinking about it.
The prosecutor asked the judge to give him a 5-year sentence, which is the average term. He says, quote, Michael made the Carbajal name in this community. He said, without Michael, Danny would not be the community icon that all these people think he is. This is the judge. Now he knows his brother is in dire straits, and he turns his back on his brother. Whoa. You, sir, may fuck off. Yeah. 4.5 years in prison.
That's not enough.
That's not enough. Jesus Christ. Michael, who earned at least $7 million in the ring, says he's now dependent on his girlfriend, Laura Hall, for financial support. Wow. They said that Danny and others stole his money. They embezzled more than $1 million in IRA funds from the Carbajal family's mother that he had put in there. And Danny's also the prime suspect in the shooting still of his wife. Michael says they said, why are you talking about your brother now? You didn't say anything before, kept it quiet. And Michael says to get back at them, what they've done to my mom, he's fucking pissed. That's what he said. January 2009, he said that he signed a $1.3 million life insurance application in 93 through his agents, with the beneficiaries being his children and the contingent beneficiary being his brother. Right. So Michael and his mother Mary claim that in 94, this agency met with Danny without Michael's knowledge to change the beneficiary to Danny instead of
unbelievable
the kids there. The form and change in ownership required Michael's signature and the signature of a witness, which this agent Dorn guy signed, although Danny had forged Michael's signature. So, yeah, they took cash from the policy, reducing its value to $16,000.
Asshole.
Drained his fucking money here. Also, life insurance policy that he liquidated and reduced from $300,000 to $5,000. Just took his money. February 2010, you think that's bad? You think he's the worst ever? Stealing from your fucking brother? How about he's trying to evict his mother from prison? His mother.
Trying to throw her out of her house?
Out of her home from prison.
Unbelievable.
She's lived there for the last 15 years. It's the home that Michael fucking bought for her after his fights here. He said he bought it from tongue-shy Kitty Chasms. After that one, he bought this house. And a Phoenix attorney said, it's unbelievable to me. Poor Michael. I mean, Danny thinks he has a big financial empire that he's manipulating from prison where he sits rotting away. I can't believe he's doing this to his own mother. It's fucking disgusting here. Michael said, quote, this is the lowest you can go. A disgrace. Yeah. Disgraziad. He was Italian. He would have said that. He said he's ranging from angry to tearful as he sits there. He's just blown away by this whole thing. He said he talked to everybody. He said he's fooled me more than anybody about Danny. He said he's just fucking terrible. And he said that it's always fraud. He said there's no legal contract between them. He said there's no need. We're brothers. We shouldn't need one. So everything he did was extra fraud because he didn't even have my power of attorney or anything. Like, it's all very much fraud. He said he found an old court document at the Court of Records a few days ago, and he said it's a managerial contract that said Michael, who was set to draw up, said it was drawn up in 1988 or within weeks of his silver medal. He said it includes his signature. He said, but I never signed my name to a contract with Danny. I never saw that contract. Right. So right from then, he was already forging Michael's name on fucking contracts, which you can't do.
That's dangerous.
He's threatening to evict Mary Carbajal, who's 78 years old.
Disgusting. From
the home purchased after her husband died. Her husband died. He said, I'm going to buy you a nice new house and blah, blah, blah. And they said, this is disgusting. The judge said greed and a pattern of wrongdoing spread over 3 years. Remember that part? Yeah. I think that fits here very well. It's crazy. Danny said that, sent a letter saying you do not pay rent, any rent for your occupancy, and our client has decided to terminate the occupancy. That's your mother.
You can't.
You out of your fucking mind?
You don't pay rent because it's your mom.
Michael said, your own mom, man. How do you do something like this to your mom? That's just normal. Very, very normal. He was in there, and he said they were interviewing him, and there was a couple of school-age girls there, and they said, is it haunted in there? We hear there might be ghosts in there, and tell us but don't scare us. And he said, no, there's only good ghosts in there, and they hang out in the basement.
In the jail?
No, in his gym.
Oh,
they were asking about that. And so he was trying to be nice to the kids in the middle of raging about his mom. He was like, no, it's fine. It's good. Hold on, kids. September 2010, this is crazy. Hall, his girlfriend, is heard telling the 911 operator that she's been attacked by unknown assailants and that Michael's been beaten badly and left beaten in the assault as well. Yeah. She, yells for cops to come here. She said she's been hit in the head and all this type of shit. Another 911 call is made to report the same incident. This time it's from a male who says he was assaulted by Michael Carbajal. Oh. So apparently there was some sort of big fucking melee. Michael said he deals with after effects from damage sustained in this attack and has been working with several doctors. And
it's in a parking lot.
It has to be. Yeah. He said that also he's trying to get shit back from Danny. He hopes for the return of his Olympic medal.
Oh my God.
That Danny fucking
took.
Yep. He said that they're trying to find it and they can't find it, and they're trying to track it down. Yeah, they're trying to track it down. August 2011, Danny gets out.
Oh, boy.
He did 3.5 years, gets out of jail, and he said, I went to prison because my wife was murdered and couldn't testify on my behalf.
No, you didn't.
That's why he went to prison, he said.
That's not why.
He somehow blamed his wife. That's the most twisted logic. That's a sick motherfucker right there. Wow, that is crazy. 2012, Michael is trying to build up his client base at the gym. He's trying to use this as a business. And Danny, it's so fucked up. Danny's trying to get it taken away because he co-signed for the lease with the Maricopa Sheriff's Youth Department that the thing is. So he's trying to say, well, I don't want it. So trying to fuck his brother off trying to fuck his brother in any way possible here. Danny said Michael wasn't defrauded of anything. He got everything that was his. He just spent it.
Shit.
On what? On what? On fucking what did he spend it on? Honestly, he didn't have anything that you could spend $7 million on.
A manager doesn't take millions of dollars.
That's fucking disgusting.
This isn't a 50-50 split, man.
No. So Michael's struggling, still trying. There's a guy out there trying to use the family name named Keenan Carbajal that half the family was pissed off about it. It's one of the nephews or something. It's a weird thing. I don't know. Not enough time for that. Yeah. Can't get enough of Michael Carbajal?
Wow.
Well, very much the easy thing you can do here. You can go on eBay and buy a Michael Carbajal autographed boxing glove.
Oh, cool.
It's like the Mexican flag on it, and it's a cool boxing glove. Only $59.96 with free shipping.
It's
a good fucking deal. I don't know if it's real or not because we're going to do
it and give it to him.
Yeah, no shit. He needs it, and then he can sell it again.
Right.
That reminds me, by the way, if you like that episode, get on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this, give us a review. But on Patreon, we're going to do bonus episodes. One of them's on sports counterfeiting, like autographs and shit, so you can find out if this is real or not. Maybe we'll know the difference then. Maybe we won't. Either way, check it out, and go to shutupandgivememurder.com for your merchandise, your tickets to live shows. Every once in a while, people return the tickets because it's been a 2-year rescheduled thing, so they let them do that. So tickets pop up for sold-out shows. Right. You'll get 4 here, 6 there. Yeah. Find them, get your tickets to that today.
Seattle's almost sold out, so you better hurry.
It is. Now they're going quick there, so get those. That Thursday night, couple tickets left for that one. So do all of that, and do head to Patreon, by the way. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all the damn good stuff. This week, no exception. You get access to both shows' Patreons. Crime and Sports episode this week, I can't wait for, because it's on counterfeit sports memorabilia and how they would just, years after Joe DiMaggio was dead, they'd be like, I need 2,000 DiMaggio balls tomorrow, and then they just appear. They just appear.
Guy doesn't even draw wind.
It's fucking crazy. So we'll find out all about that, how that happens, what kind of a dirtbag does that to people. And then for the Small Town Murder bonus episode, which of course you have access to, we are going to talk about weird shit that goes on at county fairs throughout this nation, because that is one of the strangest subjects I've come across. So check all that out. That is patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of that. And also you get shout outs there, but you should follow us on social media before we talk about the shout outs. We are at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. And yes, and then you can do all of that shit. You can get shout outs with your Patreon. What happens is Jimmy mispronounces your name, even though he tries to get it right.
And that's called affection.
And it's in the most affectionate way possible. And if you just want to make a donation on PayPal, get your shout out. Very easy to do as well. Just use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. Right. That said, damn it, I need to hear the names of good people. Tell me about the names of people who would never, ever steal all of our money and have our mothers evicted from their homes. Hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producers are Melissa Turner. Soylent Green is people, James. I don't know if you know that.
I am aware of that. Charles Heston said that.
Amy Spicer and her husband Doug came to Tempe. They were also in San Diego and Brea. It was terrific.
Amazing seeing them. Thanks, Ian. Nice to see you.
Jordan Bennett. She also came to San Diego, obviously. Donnette Perry is in Texas. Nick Mendoza working on his Hondas in his garage. Clay Thorson sent Stan's refund from the wig shop. I don't know if you saw it. Happy birthday, Michael Keating, I think. He takes care. His wife has Anne. She has a debilitating problem. And Michael's done an amazing job taking care of her. Thank you so much,
great.
Michael. Keep it up.
Yeah, no shit. Sorry. Hope she feels better.
I hope so also. Thomas Asbiek. I don't know. Tia Bowen, Ashton Pruitt, Terry Stanley, and truly, you guys, the bar that you guys set is super high, and I hope that we clear it. Thank you so much
honestly.
For financing
Thank
this.
you.
You're amazing. Other producers this week are Mitch Cumstain, I think, Peyton Meadows, Liz Vasquez, Jen Visconti, Megan Janos, Jeff Shrewsbury, James Martyr, Linda Sittler, Frank the South African Birdwasher, Iron Tree Craftworks on Etsy has a discount for Small Town Murder listeners. STM15.
Cool. Do it.
Happy Hour checking in from San Diego. Mark Hummel, Jennifer Mosier, Topher Dizzle on Discord, Rabbi Shmulovich, Hyman Roth, Swamp Queen Creations on Etsy, Tiffany. Not Timothy. Tiffany Gonzalez sold her mom's wheelchair to donate here today.
Oh, that's so nice.
Thank you,
She's comfy on the couch. Don't worry about it.
Peter and Alicia Stone got more T-holes than B-holes, and we're welcome to stay with them.
Boom.
Tim Tasler in Berlin, Michael Carboni in Colorado, Ashley Taylor, Jeremy Bethune, Samantha Quigley, Janice Hill, Destiny McMahon, Mike Pagliuca, right? It's Pagliuca.
I don't know what it looks like. It's in front of you.
Store manager Rachel Walters.
Your laptop's facing me.
Farrah Designs. They made the manufacturer of. They are the manufacturer of the Dextard CIS Studio Football.
Oh, beautiful! That was great.
That's a nice one. Bryce Law. Happy birthday, Vanessa Hancock. Jill in Delco, Pennsylvania. Christy McCurry. Christy McCurry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Zacharewski, Peyton Meadows. I said that. Carl Kirshner, St. Hugo the Strange, Ben Theiser. I don't know. Damian Garrison, Joshua Guidry. Madison Hamilton, Brent Jensen, or Eric Ortiz, Will Judkins, Lori Shockley, Michelle Petrie, Sean Minogue, I think that's Kylie's brother.
Obviously.
Lisa
Jesus.
Dangler, Stabby McGee, Johnny Cole, Ty with no last name, Abel with no last name, Steve Cooey, Eldon Villa, Freya Raja, Danny Crawford, Merry Christmas, you filthy animal, Ben Levinsky, Taylor Vanica, Venice. The Bishop, Cashmore with no last name, Josh Reza Teretz, Damian Tornat, Michael Geedy, Ryan Cook, Maisie Brendan, Catherine Robinson, Jacob Waters, Joe Bosley, Blossett, no last name, Allison, no last name, Ryan, no last name, The Pollinator, Heather Long, Sadie with no last name, Brittany Brucker, Drowsy with no last name, Claudia Racy, Wilhelmine Linden, I think, Wilhelmine, Tammy Coxline, Alice Daly, Brent Trotter, Reese Calvert, Alan Tasker, Sage Pearsall, Red Annie 53, Kaylee with no last name, Candy Pledger, Max Amphibious Lack, Caitlin Bacon, Michael Vargo, Melissa Reese, Alia, what the fuck, Cassim, Caitlin Graney, Ariel Lobel, Anthony Hamas, Jeremy Blackburn, Ben and Melissa McRae, Steve Skates, Amanda Tesla, Ben Gretton, Jesus, Nick Peterson, Anthony Simmons.
Trying hard there.
I'm doing my
You're working, Jimmy.
very best.
You are.
Ben Bryant, Wyatt Beeson, Brandon Dismukes, Amber Jones, Becky Ann, Nora Mankato, Lindsay Backus, Annette Kemp, Amanda Smith, Savannah Davenport, Nick Strasburg, Patio Furniture, Misty McLaughlin, Lauren Garcia, Thomas Childress, PDX Me, Jenny with no last name, Melissa Graham, Julie H, J Puinofkit. What? I don't know what you're trying to say there.
Something.
Terry.
Thank you.
Terry Douglas, Michael Harrison, Cuz Yum, Custom Cakes in Jacksonville, Florida. Austin Gale, Shanna Savage, Martin Morgan, Ashley Columby, Jillian Welcher, Zed 315. Oh boy, Khadijah Hawkins, Austin with no last name, Phil White, Rachel Diaz, Tara with no last name, Alex Shearback, Jason Middlebrook, Sue Heischel, Owen Van Der Werf. It's 3 words. So I did it like it. April Braun, Cynthia Bruder, A. Dixon, Tina McCown, Casey the Mick, Steve with no last name, Samantha Bollard, Lori Bade, Hunter Chappelle, Taylor Ajamain, Jess Neuermeyer, nope, Caitlin Smiley, Josephine with no last name, Tay with no last name, Kathy Rowland, Sarah Estrella, Aaron Andrew Dubin, Alex LeBlanc, Paul Felix, Abby Menke, Amy Tedder Bennett, Rebecca Gagnon, Vance Kessler, Jared Brum, Cassandra Jackson, Sam Sanchez, Brenna Donahue, Carson Bennett, Isaiah Buckley, Josie, nope, that's Jesse Romero, Jerry I. Diggles, I don't know what you're trying to say. I don't know what that is.
Something, Diggles. I like that. It's got to mean something.
Rochelle Nibb, Elizabeth Washington, Sherry with no last name, Kelder Bradford, Luis Lando Verdi, Laura DeForge, Lauren Minor, Damian Ormond, Claire Holland, Dominic with no last name, Therese Hagman, Eric I, Steve Guerrero, Latasha Lawson, Sarah with no last name, Andrea Seigel, Rowan Dunphy, Brittany Paytow, Caitlin with no last name, Roger Thorne, Asher Griffith, Liz Connect, Tim Lovett, Gisela Fuentes, Matt Waddle, Heather Chacon, Dizzy O'Rourke, Stacy Mills, Richard Brown, Sherry Benchwick, Brandon Rupert, Keegan Schlitter, okay,
yeah,
Paige with no last name, Pete Garofty, Patrick Bouchane, Carrie Ann O'Connor, Sky Webster, Leah King, Kara Outs, Joseph Klobukowski, Gracie Mills, Gabe Viek, Phil Schwartz, Ben Ryan, Ben Robinson, Dylan Kinitsky, fuck it, Rusty Hurd,
tried hard there, Jimmy.
Sarah Hamada,
you wanted it.
Kelsey B, Mason with no last name, Erica Dabowski, John Hobbs, Jay Merriman, and all of our patrons. Thank you guys so much for everything you do.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Unbelievable.
Fucking thank you. And honestly, thank everyone for coming out to the shows. We really appreciate it. We can't wait. We love seeing everybody out at these shows. So thank you so much. And try to come out and see us because we have a fucking blast live.
Great show.
We really do.
We're doing it. We're doing
good
it big.
shit. So, Jimmy, what if people wanted to have a blast talking to you? How could they possibly find you?
You can find me on the internet at Wisman Sucks. You spell it, you win.
You know
where about you?
There. You can find it's not Jimmy P is funny. You just look for the show. If you look Crime and Sports, we'll pop up.
Hosts of that
No
shit.
one else is doing a show called Crime and Sports, and if they are, let us know and we'll sue the shit out of them.
Terrific.
So at this point, it's just us. Yeah. You can look up the show and find us that way. Just Google it and give reviews, do all that stuff. Till then, though, thank you for everything that you do for us. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.